A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4.
A weem away, 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 weem away. Okay. Thank you guys so much. We are the 3Dynasteers. Welcome in. Do you understand how special of a day today is? Today is like Christmas, but better. It's as if Jesus never died and it's Christmas. On my left, I've got Andrew with me. Number 1 in the power rankings. Spoiler alert.
Never seen that coming.
Over here, also on my left,
we got Josh.
Do you know him?
Fellow Dynasteer.
Fellow Dynasteer Josh.
Welcome.
Good
to have you here.
It is my absolute pleasure and honor to invite the best draft party thrower that I've ever known. Owner. Leader, former almost champion, Scott Griffiths.
Welcome in.
Yo.
The inaugural first guest.
How's it feel, man?
Yes.
Let the people hear your voice. They've been waiting.
It feels pretty good to be on. Trying to bring some credibility and accountability to the podcast.
We need
here.
it. We really need
Desperately in need.
All I heard
Thank you
was
very
it. Your
much.
second voice of reason.
some alternative facts. You brought those with you. That's great. Scott, we're pumped to have you on. I know that you've been very active on the group Facebook, sharing your opinions and, being wrong about all of them.
Most opinions I don't agree with at all. None of them, actually. But
I need to take a special moment here to shout out our commissioner who, had every opportunity to be here, but he's a busy man.
He is.
I still want to give him some respect for putting this league together and, letting Scott in and opening the door for Scott to be here.
Because without you, Adam, none of this would exist.
None of this happens.
Yeah.
We love you.
You're like our father, Adam.
I'm thankful.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor. It's all of the above. Scott, I need to start this off by just opening the floor a little bit to you. I'm going to crack the door open and just let you peek through with...
You've been... I think you have some things on your mind.
Yeah,
the door creak.
What's on your mind?
I do have 1 or 2 items that I definitely
terrified
like to bring up. There's been a lot of hate about my IDP strategy. I'd like to talk a little bit about that. My apparent affinity for the 49ers and Colts.
It's evident.
I respect it.
Just the general perception of where my team seems to be by you respectable individuals versus what the facts say.
Yeah, so shout out to T.Y. Hilton and Carlos Hyde being in your rotation right now, but go on.
And drafting number 1 Indianapolis rookie,
followed by
back,
2 49ers immediately after.
Oh,
it's okay. We're all on the same page here.
Evidence.
These are some facts.
How many running backs do you have in the top 10, Brandon?
Oh.
Well, if you
how many do you have in the top 30?
If you add them all up.
Well, no, he has DeMarco Murray. Oh, wait.
Hey, spoiler. Whoa. We'll get there.
That's just recent.
Wow.
That's live. You can't bring that up yet. Hold on.
That's
only halfway.
Our corrupt commissioner hasn't even approved the trade yet. Who knows if it's going to go through?
He's got to let it through.
Who knows?
It's crazy.
But please, Scott, what kind of facts do you have to share with us today?
Oh man, I got tables, I got charts. I honestly don't even know where to start.
If you send us whatever you're talking about, charts and tables, we'll put them up for you.
Oh,
no bias
most
here.
Definitely.
Right here.
I got some color coding going on. I want to make sure.
He's always got the color
Just
coding.
send them right over here to me real quick. And
all right.
And when I get them, it'll be good, and I'll just put them in for later.
Boom.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
Boom.
They might rival your charts the way I'm seeing them, man. Which is
well, I'm sure they are because my charts are other people's charts. So
okay. Well, you put your own touches to them, believe it or not.
Wow.
You're just being humble right now, and I appreciate that. But.
Okay.
Actually, let me hit you guys with a trivia question.
Ooh,
really
good.
Oh, all right. I love trivia.
Okay.
I
got to be on the answer.
Taking over the host position. I love it.
What rookie wide receiver is leading all rookie wide receivers in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
This is for this man right here.
I don't know about that.
Because
Adam Thielen.
He's not a rookie.
He's not a rookie. What are you talking about, bro?
I just shot out
Good
in
guess.
the dark there.
No, check it.
Receptions,
Receiver.
touch. He's leading all categories.
Yes. Rookie receiver leading all rookie receivers. Receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Get off.
Sorry, his screen must have just like blanked out for a second.
Just for a second.
I mean,
was
I have
trying
a
to see
guess,
the answer was.
but I'm sure it's wrong because it might be the obvious one.
Hey,
so.
stop being so
I'm
scared.
gonna say Juju Smith-Schuster.
That would be wrong.
Oh, okay. Well, good, because that
I knew that was your
takes
guess.
away my guess.
Oh.
I'm gonna guess a random one because there's just
no,
not.
come on.
There's
Well, not
many.
random, but he's good.
Hold on, let me look at your roster.
I'm
Scott.
trying to rethink it real quick. I'm gonna go with Trent Taylor.
Cooper Cup.
That would be wrong.
Is
That
it Cooper
correct.
Cup?
Oh!
Cooper Cup.
It's
Oh.
almost like I
The
saw
worst draft
that
pick of all
coming,
time.
Adam.
The worst
Wait.
draft pick of all
Almost
time.
like I saw it coming.
That was planted. That question was planted.
Dropping the deucers.
Hey,
thankful.
listen, Cooper Cup got a lot of hate in the early episodes of this.
He did.
And that's
He did.
due to ignorance. I didn't know he was, so I was hating, and that's my excuse.
When Jared
okay?
Goff wasn't proven. So.
You know, I just feel bad that such a talented player went to such a terrible team. That's why
Stop it.
I have to hate on him.
They're
But
looking like
I
a
saw
contender
Cooper
this
Kupp.
year.
I saw Cooper Cup. He ran a route earlier, like week 2 or 3, and that's when I gained respect for him. He ran a route, he fell down, he popped back up, and then like extended sideways and caught a ball.
Super agility.
Like super agility. That's when I gained respect for him. Like he will be the number 1 wide receiver of that team. I doubt they're going to re-sign Sammy Watkins.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
wouldn't
Tavon
think
Austin
so.
just doesn't have a place, it seems like.
Cooper Cup though?
Cooper Cup.
Oh man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Much love to Cooper Cup. Okay, respect.
Interesting side note. I know Adam's gotten a lot of shit for having the Rams offense, which is currently ranked 3rd in total offense and 1st in points per game.
Mm-hmm. You are his best man, so defend him, please.
I'm
No,
doing
he
my
needs
best.
to. Hey, no, give him a moment. I love it. No. Take your time.
You
Just
know.
Got to throw respect where it's due.
Shout out, Adam.
It's Cooper Cup.
He wasn't able to be here. I'm just trying to,
He
help
caught
a brother out.
Hey, he caught the Rams on the right year. I'll tell you that.
That's the truth. Well, have you seen their coach? He's so dreamy.
Hey, man. Goff looked bad last year. He looks real good this year. So.
Yes, he
He's playing
does.
sharp.
He
I'm
is.
scared for the Seahawks. I'll say that.
Nah, not so much because we have a good defensive line.
We
and
beat them.
secondary.
Thank God.
We held them.
Offense is so bad.
Our offense is
So
so
bad.
bad.
Horrific.
You know, it starts with our offensive line, though. It always does, right? I will blame Darrell Bevel once we have a decent O-line for him to make plays around.
Yeah, you actually made a similar comment last week. The only thing I could think of is if you're not condemning him, like you're not necessarily supporting Bevel, but by not condemning him, you're already in the wrong. Like he's so bad.
Yeah, no, I was
Yeah.
trying to condemn
Yeah.
him, but you can't. It's so hard. The offensive line. Well, we spent $6 million on it last year, right? It was like $6
Something like
million,
that.
some awful
Nothing.
amount.
Not
of
a
money.
lot.
How do you? That's your insurance policy for your quarterback. You spend all your money on your quarterback. You don't protect. There's no sense there. I
True.
don't know. And then you get what? What was it last week? 12 plays in the red zone, and we didn't get it. I mean, that's got to be some sort of creativity on the offensive coordinator, right?
It starts.
What
yeah.
do you think?
It's that. It's the O-line.
But we're not experts. We're not here to talk about that. so.
It's the deepest rabbit hole to get into. But one thing we can say for sure and all agree on is we're extremely disappointed with the fact that we have an amazing quarterback and we have
Amazing squad all around, man.
we have a great team minus our offensive line. If we had just bodies in the average, we would be deep in the playoffs
Yep.
every single year.
I just feel bad for Russell.
I agree,
the
I agree.
worst.
See, I know I'm in the minority here, but I think Russell earns his value running out of the pocket.
100%
You
agree.
think that
So-
battle line buffs his value?
I think if you keep Wilson in the pocket, mediocre quarterback.
It's-
He
Yeah, I
won the
agree.
Super
I
Bowl
agree.
with a really good offensive line. We had Unger
but
that
extending
year.
the play.
He was running it, though.
Extending.
Now,
Right.
I know I'm in the
You're
minority
right,
of this,
but
but
he
I would
was
say,
better.
I would say that his ability to extend the play is his specialty, but it
Yes.
only comes into play after he's missed initial reads. Like
He
his
does
release
miss
time
some-
is terrible.
Yeah, it is. It's
just
really
terrible.
Bad. Yeah.
But
Suspect, I'll
But
admit.
his down the field accuracy is amazing, and I think because he's a better out of the pocket passer, that's why we've invested so little into our offensive line because they're just like, well, fuck it, they're gonna get through
He's gonna
anyways.
run.
He's gonna
Let
run.
him huck it.
Exactly. Anyways,
Sign Sherman. It's rough to be a Seahawks fan because we have such high expectations and our team can do so much, but at least they always show up towards the end of the year. Hopefully, Scott, your team can do that because you started out 0-2 and you're kind of coming back a little right now. I want to focus on you here for a second. You got that W3 next to your name. How's that feel?
It feels pretty amazing, honestly. I think it'll continue past this week. And, I don't want to say I'm a shoo-in for the playoffs.
It's getting
but
there.
I'm going to make the playoffs.
What's this percentage on? Wait, we're not there yet.
We're almost at the power rankings. Hang on, we're gonna get there in just a second. But before then, Scott, you really intrigued me when you said you wanted to explain your IDP strategy. Please go on and do that because you saw last week where we went over and we really highlighted the value.
Did you bring him with you? Is he back there on the couch, maybe right there on his phone right now? What's up, Akeem?
All right, I got a couple of pointers to throw out here. One, fantasy football is all about playing the odds.
Ooh.
Despite not starting two defensive players in my first 2 weeks,
which you lost those weeks.
I did lose.
Okay.
Wait, hold on.
I'll get to that.
Okay.
My IDPs, who I picked up, you guys saw at the draft. I was like, I don't care, throw me a guy.
Right.
Yes.
Akeem to
like
lead.
a boss.
My
after buying
IDPs have
everyone dinner.
outscored my opponents 5 out of 7 games. That's 71%. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
Good choices.
Second point, the IDPs have been a deciding factor in exactly 0 of my games. The one game that I lost, that it could have possibly, had I started a second IDP player, would have made a difference. I would have had to pick a guy who averages more than any of the 500 IDPs out there.
Right.
And if I know what I know now, where I take 7 weeks worth of sample size and I take the top 24 defensive players, I would have had a 3% chance of picking the one that would have made a difference. So the
those are some crunched numbers.
So the curve of this, I'll show you the graphs.
Okay.
The other side of this is in week 1, if you lose, it's unfortunate, but you get a high waiver spot. And those week 1 and week 2 waiver claims can be crucial. Those can be game changers for an entire season.
That's wisdom right there, folks, if you didn't know.
So I'm willing to risk that in week 1 and week 2, the difference between my game will not be about 6 or 7 points. To that point, the highest scoring team with IDP players is Adam, One Girl, One Cup, who's put up 95 IDP points this year.
Why is that? What is a unique trait to both of his IDP players? Stock's going up.
Very intelligently,
Yes.
he picked defensive players who are punt returners and kick returners. So he gets the additional yardage from these guys. He gets additional points, point per yard.
Yep.
Now, just to highlight how indifferent IDP players are, the lowest scoring team from IDP point totals is Andrew.
Wow.
Actually,
Cheers.
Wow. Congratulations.
Andrew's
sir.
put up 49 IDP points.
Okay, I'll take that.
Despite me not playing defensive players 2 weeks, my IDP players have outscored both of your guys's.
Whoa.
What?
That is true.
Are you sure?
Yes, I've put up 55.5, where Josh has put up 53, and Andrew has 49.
53 is more than 49 for the record. So.
That's fine.
How many do I have?
Just
What's your
saying.
record?
You have 71.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Yeah,
This
you're up
guy.
there.
I know how to do. Like I said, I'm willing to share some strategy and
Sure.
tips with you. My first,
Over lunch, was it?
No, my first one over lunch or dinner or a beer
Okay,
right now,
okay.
or whatever. My first tip to you would be, start them during week 1 and 2. Then you might be up in the 70s.
No, I like that strategy.
No, strong.
No, that's cool. If you lose by 7 or whatever, if not, then you get the first pick. I
Total
love it.
strong
That's
strategy. But out of all of those amazing stats that you just brought up, Scott, and I'm sure you're not done yet, so I'm going to give you a chance to finish after I give you my main takeaways to this point from those stats. And that is the first 2 games where you didn't start any IDPs.
I started one in each.
Oh, okay. Were you
That's the
forgotten?
homeboy on the couch right there.
So for every IDP
should
you
bring him in
didn't start, you took an L.
That's true. That's true.
Facts.
Can't argue that.
Because you are talking
but
about
I will
total
point
points.
And I'm
that
gonna
in
bring-
week 2, when I lost with only one defensive player, my one defensive player outscored Adam's 2 defensive players.
Well, Don't give
just
Adam
shows
too
you
much
how
credit.
inconsistent it is.
It's crazy. It is.
It's inconsistency doesn't mean you shouldn't pay it attention, though.
True.
Fair?
Well,
It's
I
better than
paid
a blank
atten- It
spot.
wasn't that I didn't set a roster. My strategy also in these weeks was I had some roster people that were boomer bust, and I wanted to see how they played in the first couple of weeks. I'd rather see how involved, say, Jeremy Macklin is versus having a player that I'm going to get 3 points out of when 3 points is likely not going to be the difference.
Marginal.
Okay,
It's
okay.
a very smart. When you explain that out, all bullshit aside, it's a very good strategy because
Makes sense.
week 1 and 2. I mean, look what happened with Tariq Cohen. He was a god, right? He was the talk of the town.
Right.
I was really high on him. I still am really high on him because I have to be. But
He's eye on his hands.
he's somebody that he's the type of player that you want to have on your roster instead of like a Lawrence Timmons or a defensive player currently in the league still.
Right.
And Scott, that's so far. Your presence on the podcast has been great to this
Thank you,
point.
sir.
It's okay.
I feel like I was about to cut off a major point of yours so far.
There's just a couple other bullet points I want to hit here.
Hit it.
The top 2 ranked teams in the league, just an overall record. Andrew at 6-1, the least scoring defensive IDP scoring team.
He's bad at it.
Followed by Bender's Meat Bag.
Is that your brother?
Parade.
The
You're
meat
doing
gay
your brother
parade?
dirty right now. Jason, you can't be proud of this.
Quick story. The Meatbag Parade actually comes from Futurama.
Yes.
And it's supposed to be the Meatbag Brigade. But when my brother was telling this to Adam over the phone, Adam misheard and made it the parade.
I like it.
So my brother's just rolling with it.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect.
Thank you, Jason.
I like the background story.
It's solid.
So,
And there's an icon. He has an icon.
He does. It's nice.
Kelly
Finally.
and Cam.
Do it.
but yeah, the only other thing that I want to point out is that the difference between the top and bottom in terms of IDP points is about 6.5 points per game. So far, through week 7, only 6 games have been decided by 6.5 points or less. That's about 14%. And of those 6 games, 80% of them, the team that lost had the higher scoring defensive players.
Okay.
So my point is just that IDP is a total crapshoot.
Right.
You can put 0 effort into it and end up middle of the pack. You can put a ton of effort into it, like Adam, and get that extra 6.5 and have a 3-4 record.
Ooh.
So-
Question: how far ahead of? I feel like I'm like top 3 in IDP scoring. Adam's number 1. What's the difference?
Between you and Adam,
Yeah.
he's put up 95. You put up 71.
So you're up there.
Wow.
You're
That's good.
second?
Wow, I thought
He's
I was
second?
within 8 or 9.
No,
Adam.
second actually falls to Smelly Waters,
Oh, who
who
Really?
has
The
93 points.
League donkey, mind you.
league donkey Kelly Waters, but also owner with the
Unlucky.
most points against
He's
him.
unlucky,
He has
bro.
over 1,000 points against him.
It's
like
awful.
It's rough, man.
when you're a
Rough
donkey,
season.
you have to climb from the bottom and really start and carry the load. And he is putting the work in week over
Goat,
week.
actually.
But
I know,
Give him
I-
a goat.
I can't do
you
a
know,
donkey.
everybody, nobody wants to lose to the league donkey, so they always give him the best.
It's true.
It's very true, though, and it's evident in the scoring. So
And what I really want to know is what the league donkey's current rankings in the power rankings are. Andrew, will you please
Well,
take
do
us
ya
away?
now?
I need to know what this is.
Yeah.
I got to know where you're at,
yeah,
and where I'm at.
I think I have a little bit of an idea. Do you have an idea at all?
I've got a pretty good guess.
Okay.
I took a L.
Oh,
so.
there. Hold on. There he goes. Right.
Audio Jungle.
Week 7 Power Rankings. Locking horns at the top, Set It and Fernet and Bender's Meatbag Parade keep their top 2 status, sitting first and second ranked in all but one category at the moment. Our monster mover this week is none other than guest host Funny Thundercats, moving up 3 in the third and also securing third in consistency and PPG ranks. The team that shall not be named stalls in fourth after taking his third loss, while just below, Dak That Pass Up after losing by just 3 points this week slumps to fifth. No movement from Seattle's second harvest this week as he nabs a loss, but still holds robust ranks in all other categories. Westside J turns north again, nabbing a win and pushing his playoff odds back up into a more comfortable territory at 58%. After building up for weeks, One Girl, One Cup discharges a huge win, almost doubling his playoff odds and rolling up 2 ranks in consistency and PPG. Dukes gas for air, making his escape from the pit with a tight win this week, but he'll still need to keep conscious of his number 11 roster rank down the line. The bumpy climb gets steeper as Smelly Waters drops to 1-6 and 1% playoff odds, even though he sits decently ranked in all other categories. A very unlucky campaign so far. And speaking of unlucky, the Juggernaut plops down 4 from 7th to 11th, also relinquishing ranks in all other categories. Could big moves be imminent? Oh boy, Bottom Dweller. Meat Sweats can't catch a break. Now into his 4th straight week as pitmaster and a 0% playoff odd. The outlook is pretty grim. Over the halfway point now of the regular season, the next 2 weeks will surely prove to be crucial in the race for playoff spots. Back to you guys.
I can't believe it.
That's
Amazing.
incredible.
That's
You got the
incredible.
Monster Mover Award.
Hey.
Do you feel like you're a monster
That's,
mover?
I think 3 this year already. 2 maybe.
I feel like as the monster mover, you deserve an award. You
I think
deserve-
so.
I'm on
too.
board.
I think so too. And so Scott,
Scott,
we've got
Oh,
you.
wow.
we've
I guess
Thank you.
a character from your team. It's going to represent you here on the show.
Future Hall of Famer.
Future.
I don't know.
We weren't sure besides between him or Tom
Boom.
Brady, but
That's Melvin Gordon.
and
But
he,
he's scoring points for you this year, yeah.
Oh, he's putting up mad points.
What about
dude.
last year?
solid.
Top 10 back.
Wow.
Last
Never
year?
saw
No,
it
he
coming.
wasn't top 10
Oh,
last year. He
absolutely.
didn't score a
Absolutely
touchdown
he
last
was.
year.
Sure he
I had
was. What are you
4
talking
running
about?
backs in the top 10, including him.
Wow.
Jeez, I didn't
Damn,
know
I
that.
guess you need 5 to win a championship then.
Stop it. Stop it. But yeah, so as you can see, the Odell right there. Unfortunately, he got hurt, which
Right afterwards.
damn it. But
This is our Dak
hurts.
right here.
that's
you
the
know.
Dak representation. 'Cause,
There's
Yeah,
there's no
Cowboys.
character yet. He's not.
Yeah,
he's
and,
not that
very
level.
nice.
You know.
Next year.
and
For sure.
Mine might come into play later.
We'll see.
Might.
But we got this as a representation for you on the show, so we're gonna keep it here.
That's beautiful. Thank
And
you guys.
if you trade Melvin Gordon, you trade this.
Yeah.
Understood.
So right
Understand?
now, I need you to. I need
Future
you
Hall
to,
of Fame right here, guys. This
Okay,
is,
I didn't
Yeah,
expect
I
you
like
to
that
trade
he
him.
likes him.
He
I like
asked
that
me
he
who to
likes him,
get. I
man.
said you better get this guy.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, I
it's
like
got to
it.
be
Cool.
unique, but he fits you.
And you've heard us recently, like especially me. I need to start giving him some more respect. Maybe seeing him around will make me start to respect him more. But really, what I need right now is to see him out. So please remove him from his case that he's been in. Let him be free.
Yeah, he's been in case for
And
too long.
let's
See,
get
most
him out
people
here.
collect these things, and they try and like wait for them to go up in value, increase in value.
This is a very important note for anybody trading for Melvin Gordon. Not only are you getting Melvin Gordon and whatever else you get in the trade,
Get this character.
but you're allowing Scott to struggle to open the box. But when you own Melvin Gordon,
no, you
No,
No,
that
you're
box is
fine,
done.
You're fine. Use them eight muscles.
there is some assembly required.
Throw
Right-
that over your shoulder.
when you
Don't
get
hit-
Melvin
don't
Gordon,
hit Akib.
you also get the
You almost hit a key.
representation of Melvin Gordon on the show.
Correct. Yes.
I believe he's tied in.
Yeah. Is there
You're gonna
tape
have to put
involved?
that
You guys
together
made me
too.
look stupid here.
What are you talking about? We never want to do that. This is ridiculous.
Definitely not on purpose.
How dare you?
It was not pre-thought.
Oh man, there's tape on the front.
Oh,
Oh
man.
no, that's like a string. You gotta untie that one.
Oh, man.
You got a knife, Josh?
No, no,
you
we
got
can't
it,
trust
Give
Josh
him a
with that.
knife.
No, we don't want that.
Well, while I struggle with this, I would like to bring up. You guys have hated on my running backs all year long. Carlos Hyde.
Have
and,
we? Oh yeah,
What?
for
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Great segue, by the way. You're a
and,
natural.
Melvin Gordon. I would like to bring up both are top 12 in running back receptions, running back receiving yards. Gordon leads all running backs in receiving touchdowns. Both are goal line backs. Both get receiving opportunities. Both are in the top 10 for rushing yards and rushing TDs.
And are both also made out of glass.
Oh my God. All right. Fuck that.
What's that on his foot? Oh,
It's,
he's got to
to
get
take-
spiked.
Yeah, you gotta take the black thing
yeah,
off,
You
yeah.
gotta take. I don't know. Andrew put these together. It's beyond me.
Oh
Put-
my
Put them
goodness.
together.
That was
Should
my
put a
favorite part.
Training
of-
video. together.
Right after the GIF making
Whoever's
video.
next, you might get a gift, you might not. But just be prepared to unbox it if you get something.
Yeah, you probably will. Though.
Seriously.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, he's
You
a
already
beaut.
put him up
He's
in
a
the right
beaut.
spot.
Oh.
Scoot the helmet over just
Nice.
A
a
little bit.
tidbit.
We'll do this one right
Center it.
here.
There you
Oh,
go.
I just wanted everybody to see the
a
Dallas
beaut. It's a
Cowboys.
beaut.
You know,
Yeah.
that's representative of Dak
More.
because we are Daking that pass up. How's that look? Does that look good? Does that look
Oh,
good?
Yeah,
It's
right
pristine,
there, up in the
pristine.
front. Throw him
Up
in the front. Yeah,
Oh,
feature
okay.
back. Feature
You know,
back
he is
today.
a goal line back.
He's a feature back today.
And he's one of the top 12 in pass catching backs as
He is.
well. And how much time has he missed this year?
I don't
Gordon?
think any, right?
I don't know. He hasn't missed a game.
No.
Good for him. I know he's been injured. I don't know. I've seen those cues next to his name.
was it?
He
Listen,
was
wasn't
questionable last week.
hold on. Wasn't Melvin Gordon first overall back last year for like several weeks on
For a
end?
while.
For a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
he
like
was
a
first in the
4 or
league.
5
Wait a
game
second.
streak.
And then I think
Yeah.
he got hurt.
Was he
Melvin
really
Gordon.
like?
Yeah, you need to wake up.
Is this
bro.
his third year or his second year?
Third.
Third.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
His first year
was
no
Boo-Boo.
touchdowns.
Boo-Boo,
Garbage.
skinny player.
But that just meant he was overdue, right?
Very true.
You have to think a
like
regression
Todd
to the
Gurley.
mean, right? Like you can have someone put up 25 touchdowns, they're not going to do it the second
yeah,
year.
fair
Correct.
enough.
You
fair
put
enough.
up 0 touchdowns and you're a starting running back.
Yeah.
Not a good side.
I
That's
agree
gonna
with
go
you.
up.
Yeah.
Like, there's always that regression to the mean, and I feel like the perfect case study of that is Josh Gordon because he came in and just lit it up, and then he's taken like the last 2 to
Josh
4 years off,
And he's still lighting it up.
and he's gonna come
He's
back.
rested.
Oh,
Get
he's,
it?
And he's
he's,
gonna
right,
get
You
he's
see what I
right
did
it
there?
up.
top.
See what I did there?
That was very clever.
Mota.
Hey.
Impressive. Oh my goodness. So power rankings, Scott. Welcome to the top 3.
Yeah.
That's
could not
crazy.
get
How'd you
back up
sneak your
there.
way in there?
No,
I've been
you-
trying to get in there my whole life.
Consistently putting up high amounts of points.
Yep.
Without
exactly.
IDP
Is that the
players.
secret?
It is.
That's a secret. I mean,
Wow.
you put up points. Last week, I led the league in scoring. This week, I've bumped down to 3rd due to Andrew and my brother putting up 170 plus.
I don't know
What?
how that
Yo,
happened with my team.
what
I don't know how that
the
even happened.
I mean,
Jason got 197.
197.
Wow.
Almost
He's breaking
breaks the 200
in the
barrier.
regular season.
Literally
Dude.
got 100 more points than his opponent.
Derek Carr, 52. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Wild.
Insane. And that was part what to Amari Cooper finally at him.
Finally.
Oh, Adam, yeah.
That was just, look, Amari Cooper, they gave him 19 targets. They said, we're going to make you fantasy
I
relevant.
know. Let's see you drop it 19 times on live TV.
I think he still had 2 or 3 drops that game, but he's not going to do that every single time. He's
Yeah,
not
he
going to get
remembered
that
how to
level
play
of work.
football.
He'll probably fall back down into 4 or 5 receptions for 60 to 110 yards and a touchdown.
Oh,
if
he's going to be
lucky.
solid. I think he'll be solid rest of the season.
He's decent. He ain't bad. But like always, right after the power rankings, we're going to get into last week and kind of go over some of those matchups.
Ooh,
but
I'm excited. I'm excited.
a little different today because we have a guest with us. I want to spend more time getting your facts and your thoughts and,
Yes, please.
Scott's thoughts. That's what we're going to call
That's
your
the segment. That's the segment.
Scott's thoughts.
Scott stop.
Yeah,
Scott's gonna
that's
do
your
that.
segment.
Scott's thoughts.
I mean, that not only is that Scott's segment on the podcast, that's the name of Scott's harem outside of the podcast.
Yep.
Scott's thoughts.
Yep. I love it.
It's a good name.
So what he's saying is we're gonna try and speed through these recaps. We're gonna get through them, but we're gonna
Really quick.
focus on afterwards for the predictions.
Exactly.
Because that's where you can input more. So
Let me start with me and myself because that's
Oh,
where
boy.
ESPN always puts me.
that never gets old.
I mean,
Tragicy.
it was a rough game for me. This matchup, it was a 3 versus the 11, and the 3 lost. That was me. Me versus Dukes of Hazzard.
Wait,
Yeah,
the hazardous
120.9
Dukes.
Laying them.
to 123.9. He beat me by 3 points. It came down to Monday night.
That's crazy.
It was looking bad. He had Jamison Crowder give him 5.5 points. I had Zach Ertz give me 17.4.
Can I recap
points.
this one real quick?
Go for it.
I want to give you some justice, okay?
Oh, it's just a
Marshawn
rough
Lynch
week.
suspended.
Yeah,
okay,
he would have had that game.
for family business. Okay, Fitzgerald, his quarterback broke his arm. I'm sorry. Eric Decker started the game. Got thrown to all game. Didn't catch a ball.
Only 2 targets all game against Cleveland.
2 targets.
He only had 2?
Didn't
At the
even
very
look
end,
at
those
him.
2 that we saw.
What the? He was running routes?
The whole
he was
game.
running routes.
Oh, my
The
God.
whole game.
He was out there.
So 0 points, Eric Decker, right?
Yep.
Okay. Hold on. Come down here.
Can we talk about my IDP player, Danny Trevathan, who got me 10 points?
Subjects. Let's get out of here.
I want to go straight to Zach Ertz Monday night.
That's all that
I wanted to
matters.
segue to Monday night. You were
Yes.
down 15 points. He had Jamison Crowder. You had Zach Ertz. Zach Ertz scores touchdowns.
He did enough.
He's getting 20-yard catches.
He did enough.
He's getting up to 17 points. Jamison Crowder got 5-5.
And he
lost
fumbled.
by 3.
And I lost by 3. It was rough.
3.
It's how it goes. Fantasy
120,
football.
123.
I mean, like, we can do our
Was.
best to put together, like all-star teams from 2014 with Marshawn Lynch and Larry Fitzgerald and Eric Decker.
You
and
got a rough
sometimes
day, man.
this is just what's going to
It's a
happen.
rough day.
Hey, but at least you got a Monday night game that actually mattered to you.
You know what he
I got
got?
to pay attention
You
to
know
it.
what he
That's
got?
nice.
A
Yeah.
hazardous Duke on the face.
Yes, he did.
That's what he got.
It
Okay.
was.
I'm still wiping it off. Clorox isn't doing enough.
And you know what Dukes did? He tied your score with that. His overall record with that win.
It was tough.
He
Hey,
did.
but shout out to Dak that pass up, specifically Dak Prescott for dacking that pass up, getting me 45 points.
For the loss.
Close. Okay, well, as a great
Just
philosopher
saying.
said once,
but
man,
a solid start.
good ain't good enough. So thank you, but it was an L for me this week. Now I'm 4-3. The Dukes move up to some record that I don't care about. He's also 4-3.
Oh.
Our next matchup here, though, we might spend just a little bit more amount of time on, just because it was our main man Scott versus the Juggernaut. This was a 5 versus a 7, where the 5 took it home. Final score 130.5 to 81.6. Top performers for Scott: Tom Brady, of course;
The usual.
Yawn.
Tyreek Hill, of course; Carlos Hyde for 15 games, of course. Shout out to his 14 carries for 68 yards. I mean, that's what's up from a number 1. Am I right?
You get points from everywhere.
On blast.
Hey, no, but honestly, though, DeMarcus Lawrence, 8.5 points, got more than Pierre Garçon, got more than your tight
Good
end
start.
Kyle
Really
Rudolph,
good
got
start.
more than T.Y. Hilton, your number 1 wide receiver from Indianapolis,
So
and
wait.
got more than your brand new main man, Melvin Gordon.
It was a down game for Gordon. I can't defend it.
Fair enough.
I want to respect and
T.Y.
like him.
Hilton, like his previous week against Tennessee, soft secondary, thought it would be a big game. He didn't do very well.
Don't know
Not
what
his fault
happened
at
there.
all. Not you know
So,
what happened?
Jacoby
Brissett
man.
got sacked 10 times.
Yeah, I was
Come on,
watching
man.
that one.
He
Yeah,
got
he did.
10 sacks.
He got just
T.Y. Hilton
mauled.
called out the O-line like they got to play.
It's
I
crazy.
agree.
Moving into
Crazy.
this week, he's going up against Jacksonville. Much better secondary, great defensive line. All week I was just debating pulling him out. Started, seeing the beat writers say and the coaches say that, they got a game plan around T.Y. Hilton. They got to feed him the ball. I'm like, okay, I'm a believer.
Yep.
And he puts up
Buying
3.7
it.
points.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's how it works.
Start your
So-
studs, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
It
man.
hurts.
So,
But, sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, on T.Y. Hilton's worst days, he still has more potential than a lot of flex players that I
Correct.
could throw in there. So he's one of
I
those
agree.
guys that, like,
But
all it takes is one play for that guy.
Yep.
he needs
Yep.
a little
Put
bit
up
of
20
luck.
points.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
On every game.
A little bit of-
any given.
A lot of bit of
See what I
luck.
did?
That hurts.
See what I did there?
But yeah, once Luck gets back, he'll definitely be a difference maker. I'm hoping later in the season,
2018.
hopefully
Oh,
playoffs.
right.
He's a top receiver with
Honestly,
luck. With
if-
luck. Top 5 with luck.
Oh, for
I'm
sure.
a betting man, and I would put up to $50 right now that Andrew Luck won't start a game during during this season.
I don't see it.
He's not going to start this season.
Side point though to the prior one, T.Y. Hilton was the number 1 receiver last year, wasn't he? Receptions.
Yards.
Yards.
Yes.
So and that was with luck, right? So
Yeah.
No, with
Look,
Luck, he's
it's a
top
whole-
5. He's a
Oh,
top
it's
5 receiver.
totally different
No doubt.
with Luck.
so without him, he's still gonna have a lot of potential.
But you know why Luck is injured? Is because they got an offensive line that gives up 10 sacks.
A
And that's
booty
why
line.
he's not going to play this year, in my opinion.
Right.
I wouldn't really make that bet because there's nothing worse than a quarterback going out like what happened to the Juggernaut. Carson Palmer took the L. He left early, which
So
screwed
rough.
me with
Oh, yeah,
Larry
he
Fitz.
Dude.
worst Sunday thing ever.
But he did have Jarvis Landry come into his own. John Brown, he took the L with that as well. He just really didn't have. He got 81.6 points. There's not much to speak to when it comes to that. Right. But I do want a trade alert right now. You alluded to it a little earlier, Andrew. You kind of broke the ice when I was saying don't break the ice.
My bad.
Just jumped right on the ice.
Don't really care.
Jumped right on the ice. I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna pull it out like. What's the Lord of the... God damn it.
Yeah, anyways.
Oh, it's over. He lost it.
Game of Thrones.
Gone.
the Winter King. What
trade? What
is the
it?
Game of Thrones? The
don't
Night
ruin it
King.
for me.
Fuck
Don't
you.
ruin it
You're
for
never
me.
gonna watch it anyway.
For me.
I had to pull this out from underneath the ice like the Night King did that dragon.
Yeah, you better be right.
I'm right. It is the Night King. But new trade alert.
Trade alert.
The Juggernaut, with Carson Palmer going out, accepted a trade from Chaboy, Dak that pass up. I traded the number one player in fantasy football this year,
Leonard
at least
Fournette
in our league,
doesn't have it.
Stop it.
Alex Smith for DeMarco Murray. The trade has gone through. It went through 30 minutes before we started the show.
It's not a bad trade.
He's going to have some... No, it's good
For
for
either
both
of
us.
you, yeah.
He was the only person I could have traded him to, and I got a 1.5 quarterback because he plays the number one position half the time. That's my math. But anyways, it was a really shit show for Hatch. Scott, you took the W. You got a W3 now. That means you started out 1-3.
1-3.
And now you're 4-3.
4-3. Keep
Climbing.
Come back, kid.
You know what I love? W3s. Never had one.
You know what I really love? I love W5s.
Oh, man.
Shut up. You don't even get a
Get
top.
to you. We'll
bro.
get
Okay,
to
I'm
you.
sorry.
You don't even get a
Too early.
top.
Too early. I'm sorry.
Tired of you already. Our next matchup was our league commissioner, Adam, one girl, one cup,
Putting up
points versus the team that shall not be named. This was a 176. Take these notes. 176 to 142.2. Adam really had everybody show out for him, but finally, I don't know why he started Amari Cooper this week instead of Cooper Kupp. But the number one rookie wide receiver.
In everything, in every world.
Amari Cooper put up
worlds.
40 points. Ben Roethlisberger put up 28. Todd Gurley, 27.
big points.
19 points from the Panthers defense. I mean, and other things. That's how you get to 176. But Jabril Peppers injured himself. 0 points. No return yards. No tackles.
Bye-bye.
The fat
Actually,
zero.
Jabril Peppers didn't show up on the injury report and then was game day inactive.
Oh,
Really?
damn, that's rough.
So every indication he's playing. You turn on the game,
He tweaks
not
something.
even in uniform.
Yeah.
So
Tweak something.
annoying.
Not like you're going to drop him either because he's just going to get you maybe 7 or 8 points max. And
Right.
that's usually not going to decide it.
It's not going to decide it.
Not going to work.
Stop it. I got Agnew. He's a runner. He's a run back. So
Hey, he's
I'm
looking
loving
good.
it.
He's looking good.
He's a run it back.
No,
like
he's
a
one that runs
reception.
it back. He's one that runs it back, so I'm excited.
You know, Tim, Kareem Hunt has still put the team on his back, and his floor is still only like 15 points. It's a good first world problem to have. Kareem Hunt putting up only 15.7 points. He put up 142, which would have beat most people this week.
Correct.
Carson Wentz, what a Monday night, 41.1 points. LaShawn McCoy finally got a touchdown or two, I think, this game, 28.7 points. And then his only other double-digit player was Chris Ivory, who subbed in for
Leonard Fournette.
Couldn't do it.
Oh, he had an okay game.
Yeah, it was solid. This was a 9 versus a 4, and another upset. The 9 beat the 4.
Yeah.
This next game, not really an upset at all. It was Set It and Fournette It, the number 1 versus the number 10 Smelly Waters. 170.6 to 141.9. I'm going to shout out the Smelly Waters right now.
Scoring high, as usual.
A real
Always
shout
scoring
out.
high, man.
Not for being the lead donkey.
No. That's like a tattoo. That's branded on him.
Okay. And his car.
Reference the shirt. But, I mean, he's putting up 141 points and
For
losing.
the loss.
It's
He's
rough,
putting up
man.
150 points and
Like,
losing.
I felt bad.
What more does he have to do? Like, I would be upset if I scored 140 points and lost.
It's one of those seasons, man.
Let
It
alone
happens.
4 or 5 times in a year. Kelly, I got your back here just in the fact that good ain't good enough.
Sometimes.
You know, you got some points, but not enough. Russell Wilson did his thing, 43.4 points. That's got to make you happy.
Oh, yeah.
Duke Johnson, newly acquired Duke Johnson,
The truth.
your highest scoring running back. C.J. Anderson.
Alshon for that?
Oh, yeah, that was a trade.
Alshon
Did we address this trade last week?
No, it was after last week.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, there's been a new trade. It's from last week. It's a little old.
Shall he? And he should. You could.
Well, I think I did.
No, I'll break the ice on this. Don't worry.
I'll
Don't
break
worry.
it. He can crack it.
Don't worry.
It's
Fair
fine.
enough.
This is the I need to get rid of Mike Gillislee with a name package deal. He traded Mike Gillislee and Alshon Jeffrey for a Cleveland Browns running back.
For the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland Brown.
The only one that matters.
And he's also their
Cleveland
leading
Brown.
receiver as well, Duke Johnson.
Thank you very much.
It worked out. You got 10.1 points. I know Gillislee didn't get that much.
Hey, outscored them both this week, so
Right.
I'll take that for now.
Doug Baldwin, another one that you miraculously got before the season started, 20.2
Yes,
points.
miraculously.
Hey, you made a good trade. But
I
then
swear
again,
to
it's,
God, that was a miraculous trade.
Well-
it's not difficult to trade Seattle Second Harvest. He just gives away talented
No,
players.
no. This was with Cam.
I still stand by my point that it's easy to make trades with Seattle Second Harvest.
Baldwin for third, fourth, and fifth this
Shout out,
before the
Chris.
draft.
Yeah. I mean, quality
Did
plays.
you hear that, Sky?
What?
You heard that, right?
What?
Chris's?
No, the trade he just said for Baldwin.
No, I didn't hear it.
3, 4, and 5 before
A
the
third, a
draft.
fourth, and a fifth round pick for Baldwin.
I thought
Wow.
I thought I stole him. Yeah, I thought I stole Baldwin.
He ran to the bank.
That was one of those things I just
Laughing.
threw it at the wall and hope it stuck,
Mm-hmm.
and it did.
He clicked yes on accident. Like, dang it. Oh, dang it.
Nah,
It's crazy.
happy with that.
Anyway, Smelly and
Ted
Hold on,
Ginn
hold
though.
on.
Ted Ginn was my big guy.
He
this week.
did really
Filled
well.
in for Fournette, got 17.3. I'll take that.
He's going to do it. And the Cowboys defense, who I was right, I almost wanted to start him. I almost dropped who I dropped.
Yep.
But I kept the Steelers because I needed something long term. So now I got two good defenses long term. But I was so close to dropping him to get it for the matchup against Beat Hard. It just didn't. Oh, sorry, Bethard and the 49ers. It just didn't work out. But 27 points from the Cowboys. It's nice to get that. And that is what ultimately did Kelly in, is that 27. Because his Jaguars defense also got him 27 points.
Canceled it out.
The number one defense. He's riding.
That's
No, he was-
crazy, though. Canceled it out.
Yeah,
Super.
I got lucky, a little lucky.
Super crazy. Kirk Cousins showed out on Monday night as well.
Yep.
34 points. Chris Thompson, 17.2. One of the best waiver wire ads this year, if not free agent ads. But again, just not enough. Final points here were 170.6 to 141.9 with
Yes,
the one
sir.
in the victory.
Yes, it was nice.
So we're going to move now from the 1 and the 10, the Set It and Forget It versus Smelly Waters, where the 1 beat the 10, right over to the 12 versus the 2. That's the Meat Sweats versus Bender's Meat Bag Parade.
My God.
Wow.
More than...
Shellacking.
This is the game where, Kelly only scored 97 points because he still doesn't have an icon up.
We're trying to help
It's
you out
hurting
here,
him at
Kelly.
this point.
And Bender's
Cam,
Meatbag
sorry.
Parade, shout out to the could have been Brigade, put up 197.9 points. Over 100 points more.
Doubled. Yeah, over double. He scored double.
Top of the season.
Shellacking.
I would think top of the
Yuck.
season by about 10.
That's like David versus Goliath to
Ew.
the extreme.
And Goliath won because
and he stepped
should.
on him. He
It's
he laid a hazardous.
You got a
nuke
sling and a rock?
right on his face.
Take a nuke. Like, you can't do that.
Crazy. Man.
I mean, Matt Ryan did his thing, 28 points, even though Atlanta really got dumped on by the Patriots and just shut down, he still put up 28 points. His next highest was Tyler Lockett at 14. Jimmy Graham, 12.6.
I mean, not bad. Those aren't bad plays.
He put the Chiefs' defense against Oakland, and that's just a rough set. Even if he could have chose anybody, he could have had the Jags and still would have got beat by like 80 points.
Right.
-1 there.
Was Derek Carr supposed to play, or was that
yeah.
game time?
No, yeah,
No,
he
everybody
said-
knew he was in.
Yeah.
Play hurt. He was
No.
thinking play hurt.
Well, I
no,
mean-
they just say he was playing.
He was playing. It was his first game back.
I wouldn't have done that.
It's Derek Carr, bro.
Personally, how are you gonna play against Derek Carr?
Well, the
offense?
Chiefs.
You mean his defense? Yeah.
Well, look, Derek Carr this year hasn't been extremely good. Minus this game, he really showed out. I'm not saying he's bad, but he's had rough matchups. KC's been good.
Truth.
The Chiefs have been solid. The running game for, trust me, the running game for Oakland hasn't been there. So the things were looking and lining up like it was going to be a low-scoring game. And the Chiefs are going to get you at least 8+ points, right?
Right.
It was just a really bad game. They gave it up to Amari Cooper, and that's what killed him. But Scott, why don't you tell us how your brother fared this game with his 197? How do you get 197.9 points?
Can he take some of those in next week?
Can I get 3 of those?
Carry over.
Well, apparently throwing to Amari Cooper, I don't know, what was it, 50, 60 times in the game?
It works.
Wow.
It works.
Shocking.
Even if he drops half of them.
Yeah, well, miss 50 catches. Let's see you on national TV.
But Carr, 30 points higher performance this week than any other week that he's performed.
Which,
he showed up. He played. Le'Veon Bell, 26.7, earning his keep. Devontae Foreman, 12.5, respectable. Julio finally, even though it took to the fourth quarter before the Falcons decided that they would throw the ball to one of the best receivers in the game.
oh my God. We actually didn't feature him today.
I did.
Special for your episode. We
Yeah,
just threw
I
up
did.
Shout out to ET,
the GOAT.
the GOAT.
Yeah.
I want, if possible, can we just get a moment for, I don't even think it was this week, but his karate chop?
Against Todd Gurley.
Maybe right here, or right here, or right here, or Andrew, right where?
Right there.
Just please show me the
It's gonna be
karate
right there.
chop right there
It's a beauty.
at the goal line. Just
That's an amazing individual effort, I'm not going to lie. Todd Gurley got denied.
No.
Truly.
Earl Thomas,
Absolutely stopped.
greatest of all time at his position.
I don't even know how we got on Earl Thomas. You were talking about your brother's
the
team,
Julio
but
Jones showing
Julio
off.
Jones,
oh my
yeah.
God.
We took him down.
Yeah.
And he did good. We might have been cursing him.
Yeah, I was when I was watching the Atlanta game. I'm a big fan of Julio. Why they don't throw to him more often, I just don't get it.
Because he's doubled and
I was
tripled.
screaming at my TV like they're driving down. I'm like, corner fade, right end zone.
Yeah.
Like 2 plays later, corner fade, right corner end zone, double covered, comes down with it, no problem.
Yeah.
Like
That's
I don't know how
happen.
you go from a team that's like what they finished last year, like top 3, number 1
First and
offense.
average. That's Kyle Shanahan. No, he moved.
And then
it's
Now they
it's
go up
evident.
against the
It's
32nd ranked defense
The worst.
and
Better
goose
put
egg.
up some numbers.
They didn't.
I don't think they're
Well,
using
didn't
their.
goose egg. They got a touchdown.
How do you feel
with,
about the
Julio,
Freeman
but
Coleman mix? I feel like they used it a lot more last year. I don't think they're using it as much.
I
this
think
year,
they're trying to
personally.
embrace being a running team.
Failing.
Yeah,
Failing,
at
yeah.
that.
They just don't. They don't have the O-line for it. I would say if you have a guy that can throw the ball like Matt Ryan, you have a Julio, you have Austin Hooper. Who I like. You throw the ball. Throw the ball at least
Worked
to your
last
stars.
year. It
Completely
freaking worked
agree.
last year,
Yep.
man.
Devonta Freeman, how much do you like him? And do you like him more or less than your main man right here, Melvin Gordon?
Be honest, not.
Who would you have? Who would you rather have?
On a run play, I'd probably take Freeman,
Yeah.
especially between the tackles. But if you're going to say a 3-down situation where the guy's going to have to run, he could go outside the tackles, he could catch a pass, I'm going Gordon all the way.
Fair.
He's one of the few 3rd-down backs in the league, or 3-down backs in the league.
Yeah, they're rare.
And he excels in the passing game. So
He does. You can't hate on that. And
I would take Freeman for the record. I think that guy is just an absolute beast.
I think the way that Scott said it was perfect. I can't
I
even
agree
argue
with Scott,
it.
yeah.
Like you have a 3-down back. If Tevin Coleman wasn't a thing and Devonta Freeman caught those passes too, yeah. But Devonta Freeman looks great running through tackles. So, Scott, thank you for adding value to the 3Dynasteers.
What was it? What did you say? Credibility and accountability?
credibility and accountability.
Okay.
Credibility.
I feel
Yeah,
accountable.
Well, there will be no
Now we're
accountability
credible.
because I don't apologize for anything. All I've spoken is facts. You've brought nothing but alternative facts and fake
Fake
news.
news.
But we're grateful to have you here. I mean, we've spent so much time on a 97 to 197.9 matchup.
It's
here.
insane, man. We just want to give Cam his true props for. I mean, Jason. Sorry.
Oh, right.
Right.
Sorry, Cam.
I mean, right.
Thanks
Honestly,
for putting up an icon, Cam.
I feel
Looks
bad. He didn't.
I know.
I hope
ESPN still
he
put one
will.
up for him.
Cam, please put an icon up. You'll score at least 40 more
You'll
points
break
a week.
3 digits.
Guaranteed.
Great for
Guaranteed.
team morale.
It is.
And please, Cam, because you're in position right now to be next year's league donkey, please do everything that you can to not be.
We don't want you there, man.
Because if you are still if you're the league donkey next year and you still don't have an icon, guess what? We're going to say you're
We're
the league
going
donkey.
in on you, Cam. I think this is a good segue into your gift this week.
Hold on.
But his gift is pretty sick, and we didn't cover it in his team.
I really need to
Is
talk
there a time
about
later?
your victory.
Okay, we could do that first.
The only thing that you would give.
About the only thing.
The only thing that would allow me to move on from that gift from is Cam Newton putting up 9.1 points for you. Is that above or below the quarterback average this year?
He got what I expected. I put him in hoping for about 10,
It's
and
above
he
his
almost
average.
hit it. So, he's close. I was going to put Andy Dalton in, but I knew he was going to get 8.8 exactly. So I threw Cam knowing he'd get a little more than that.
Really?
Yeah.
brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
what a
did tell
guess.
you. I warned you last week that Chicago was a sneaky good defense.
He did.
And he still got projected in my eyes. I'm loving it.
He got a third of his projection.
Don't.
Yo, shout out to your GOAT, and you need to thank Andrew right now
You're welcome.
for him. Ezekiel Elliott, 47.4 points as
Speaking
a
of
running
which,
back.
dun, 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 dun.
Oh, you got one?
I was breaking
no,
them out.
No.
I have to show it.
I didn't even know this was a thing. So, is he going to replace Odell now because Odell is out for the year?
No, he joins him.
No. If anything, he should go in front of him. Yeah, put him in front of Odell because Dak goes in front. He's the quarterback.
There.
Yeah,
there
that'll
you
work. Put him in
group
front of
him in
Odell.
there.
Yeah, let's get Odell catching it right there between them. That'll work. That's fine. Odell's in the back because, he's not even going to play until next year. That's what 47.4 points will do for you. You will get
47
Lord have
something
mercy.
on our show.
4
But literally,
carries me to the victory.
nobody else for your team did anything.
That's not true, but they didn't have crazy breakout days, that's for sure.
Right.
The Saints did get you 13 points, which
Solid.
I cannot believe the Saints this year are even considerable on
Even
defense.
after they've scored 28, 20, 32, all these
I can't
crazy
trust them. I
scores.
cannot trust them. But they only got, how about this? They only got 13 against a quarterback's first start. Brent Hundley did terrible, and the Saints capitalized on that.
You know what else is
Why you play him?
interesting? Which I find interesting after the little segment earlier. A glimpse of Scott's thoughts earlier.
Scott's thoughts. Ooh, how good are
After a
they?
glimpse of those, the difference of our scores, our IDPs would not have made the difference either way. So interesting little thought right there.
Yeah, well, your IDPs only got you 3 points. Between
Mine,
two players.
Marcus Peters tried to hurt Derek Carr, and then he almost died to Marshawn
Hey,
Lynch.
thank you, Marcus Peters, for getting Marshawn suspended. I'm done with your team after that because that just annoys me to no end. That was a victory.
Yeah, you point that.
Drew Brees, for Chris Collier, as somebody that kept two quarterbacks coming into this league, and I gave a hard time to, Drew Brees put up 32 again. He has been extremely solid this year.
Yes.
A quarterback
Brees.
worth owning. Jordan Howard did not have the performance he had the week prior. Still got 21 carries, but only put up 65 yards. Put that down.
Breeze, baby.
Don't hurt yourself over
You
that.
gotta give love to that boy. Shut up.
I did, and I'm moving right on to AJ Green and Demaryius Thomas, who combined for less than 8 points. If my math serves me right, barely less than 8 points, like 7.8, 7.7 points total.
Yeah, see, you got a little luck on his
A
team.
little bit lucky. I got really lucky.
Those two are,
You got lucky, but
Takes a little luck, man.
It takes a
does.
little
I
luck.
ain't gonna
does.
take some luck when it comes at me.
Hey.
I ain't gonna turn it down.
132.6 to 111.7. That was an 8 versus the 6, where the 8 won.
And moved up in the power rankings.
By 1. You still haven't cracked the
That's
top
up.
6.
That's up.
Hey,
You're
that's
still
up.
on that cusp.
Hey,
You're
that's
back
up.
to the
the
to
big
the
moves are going to
shoreline.
get less and less as we go on.
They are. Normally, this is the point where, we've recapped all the past weeks and we'd move on to forecasting who's playing who next week, but I want to, instead of cracking that door open for Scott and showing him the floor, I want to give him the floor and open that door the whole way for you. Scott, the floor is yours. The door is open. What is on your mind?
And I believe this would be called Scott's Thoughts.
Scott's Thoughts.
Scott's Thoughts. Scott's Thoughts.
Jazz
I
hands.
got a whole theme song and everything.
We do now.
That's impressive.
All right.
Improv.
I don't know. What do you want me to dive into?
What's on your mind? What do you want to dive into?
Oh man, I still got some bullet points to go over.
Let's hear those.
Some defense I have to put up.
Yeah, talk to me
are we
about your hurt
starting?
feelings.
Literal
Can we
bullets.
get Adam out of the way? Can we get his thoughts
Let's
out
deal
of
with
the way?
him real quick. Defend him some more, and then we'll move on from that.
I did my job. I feel.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
I think I
Cooper Kupp?
represented.
Okay. The Cup
Um,
squad has been here and left. Okay.
But one thing I want to bring up is my first round draft pick. You guys hated on all.
I did not. I liked him. I did like him.
I did hate on him.
I didn't even know who he was.
I didn't know he was, but I liked the
That's
situation.
why I
Exactly.
hated
So-
him.
You have to look at the situation. Dynasty, you're building for the future.
Correct.
So the pain point, I know some of you guys don't have to deal with this being at the front of the draft, but when you're at the back of the draft,
Those two.
every round, you can't wait and be like, I'm gonna miss on this guy and hope to pick him up in 12 or 24 picks. Like, you got to take what you like when you have the opportunity.
Correct.
So Frank Gore is what, 50?
At least.
I don't know.
34,
I thought he was
something like
55.
that.
He has gray hair.
And I just want everybody to know, and you to know specifically, when you hit the table, the emphasis is going through, because it's going through all of our mics.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
It's phenomenal.
But if Frank Gore makes it through the season, I'll be impressed. I think
Yes.
Mac will showcase that he's the future, and it gives me a running back keeper moving into next season to play second fiddle to the future Hall of Fame Melvin Gordon.
Hey, shout out.
I'll put some respect on Marlon Mack's name. I didn't know who he was.
He can
but
get it now.
he
He
has
gets some
looked
respect now.
really good.
He is
No,
electric.
yeah, I like he can cut, he
Electric.
can do it all. Yeah, for
I
sure.
like him.
And now that Turbin's out of the way, which is unfortunate because I'm a Turbin fan, like I've actually spent time with him outside of football.
How well you think Marlon Mack's gonna do without Luck? Is he just gonna average until Luck gets in and then?
Well, so here's the thing. There's a certain one of the other points you guys have hammered on me is how old my roster is. There's a certain time
Ancient,
and place.
practically ancient.
There's a certain time and place where you want young guys who have potential. There's another time and place where you want established people who they're not going to have a 40-point game,
Is that
but you
Rudolph?
can pretty much get 10, 15 points out of them. Well, that would be Gore and Rudolph.
Oh.
And speaking of Rudolph, I'm sorry, I got to go right into this.
Speak on him. Speak
Okay.
on
You,
him.
you guys spent like 2 minutes hating on Rudolph without even mentioning that Greg Olson's my number one tight end and on IR.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like,
Yeah.
how
Is
you
that-
just
is
gonna
that
pick
the
up?
situation?
That
I
is
didn't
the
put it
exact
up.
situation.
Okay.
So you guys are
okay,
hating on my
okay,
second tight end,
okay.
who is the number 9 tight end overall.
Oh, I like Kyle Rudolph.
Well, we got here talking about old players, and you said you didn't even mention my other old player.
We didn't actually hate as much on Rudolph. We just said he's old.
Who was the number 2 last
But
year?
you said he's old in like 3 weeks. Like half the time you guys bring up Kyle Rudolph being
he's
old.
about to retire as we speak.
Well, every
It's
time
like
we bring him up,
exponential.
Yeah,
He's like
he's-
27,
He's
28
27 years old.
Yeah.
he's older every time we talk about him.
It's crazy, man.
Every hour, literally.
Okay. So Marlon Mack gets a pass. Rudolph is younger than I am.
Younger.
Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going. Oh.
Yeah.
Keep going.
It
Wow.
hurts.
I think the final thing I have in my section of haterade here
Scott's thoughts.
is and we've touched on this already, but the comment that got me one of the first comments I heard on this show.
Yes.
If Scott could draft as well as he throws draft parties,
It's a great improvisation
Hold
by
on.
Brandon.
You throw amazing draft parties, though.
Like,
I'm just
top
gonna say.
notch.
Like,
I appreciate
It's
that.
going to be hard no
Insane.
matter what.
Yeah,
Let's
whoever's
be
next
honest.
year is screwed.
Even if you win the championship, hard to top that draft
You know,
party.
starting
100%.
1 to 3 was not doing me any favors, but last week number 1 in scoring, currently in second place in the ESPN rankings.
Mhm.
But wait.
Currently third in points for.
You're not talking about your draft right now.
Well, you put together a team that puts up point. So again, playing the odds, the only thing I can control is how many points I score each week. And
that'd be a great thing to control. Like I really, if I could control that, I would have given myself 3.1 more points this week.
Well, I try to put the best roster up that I can, score the most points. And last week, I was best in the league at doing that over 6 weeks.
What's your overall in the power rankings? What's that?
I think I'm third in the power rankings.
You
now.
are third this
Third
week.
in
But
power
what's your
rankings?
consistency for your?
Consistency third.
You're third in
Points
best
per game,
points
third.
per game. Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And
Next
I'm drafting my team again at the very back of every round.
Right,
So,
correct.
You're alluding
know.
to doing really well the prior season.
Good, but
Is
not
that-
good
is
enough.
that
He's
what-
alluding
okay.
to being
I was
number
the first
2
loser.
Okay.
the
You know.
prior year.
There was some
Fair
money
enough.
that I received, but
Some.
but I'm saying that there's a challenge when you get to see 10, 11 people that you're interested in go by. and
I'm
then
pretty
you're like,
sure I
okay.
said something about you being at the end, so it being challenging.
Yeah, it's rough.
I think I said
You know,
something
it's a
about
tough
that. Might
spot
not
to
have
be
been
in.
you.
So having the same amount of keepers, having a bunch of old people apparently,
Ancient.
The oldest.
drafting at the end.
Frank
to
Gore's at
still-
least 50.
to still be outscoring both of you guys.
Oh yeah. Wait, that would be
Scrubs.
Dak
Scrubs.
and Westside J. Not him.
That's right.
Hey, he said both of you.
You know.
They couldn't see who he pointed to.
So, I feel I have a pretty good squad.
For sure.
I anticipate finishing in the playoffs again this year. So, that's those were the bones I had to pick.
You ever made it to the playoffs ever? Or?
Every year that I've been in this league,
Oh, stop
I have
it.
made the playoffs.
You're lying to me right
That
now.
is not. That is
Damn.
a
3 years?
fact.
Is
3
that
years?
a fact?
3
Adam,
years.
we're gonna have to
Years,
check
okay.
that.
Actually,
Can
I was
you
actually in
send
the
me a-
league 4 years. So I have
He's
4 years in the
lying.
league.
Nice.
All 4 years. Playoffs.
Now, do you get the dynasty
Just call
pot for
you
making
Cam
the
Newton.
playoffs 4 or 5 years in a row?
No.
Okay, I was just checking.
No.
You know,
you been to
it's-
the playoffs?
Oh, I was in the playoffs last year. I tried to not
the winner
get.
bracket? Like
Here's how good of a roster I construct.
Oh.
I tried to not make the playoffs last year. I put in all of my backups. I took out all of my starters. I put in second-rate,
Suck
third
for
and
luck.
fourth tier players,
and won that game.
and I won that matchup that week and made the playoffs because of it.
That's
But
rough.
I think it was Kelly that I beat that week, so I put him in the consolation bracket and made him.
Are you responsible for that?
I'm responsible for that. I tried to lift him up. I
He's a
tried
good
it.
man. He's a good man.
That could have been me wearing that shirt, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, I construct rosters that are just so good.
I can see that.
Even the backups.
that's what it looks like.
What it looks like.
Yo, it's rough for me this week. We'll get there. We'll talk about it, but
Well, as long as you're like one of the bottom 3 teams in points against, you have a chance to put up a winning record.
am I bottom 3?
Top,
Yeah,
bottom.
you're
Points
uh,
against.
You're actually number 3.
Yeah.
I can't talk too much shit because I'm number 2.
Yeah.
But I also have a top scoring team, which again I really like.
Is
That's
it
what
testament
matters
to
more.
your
It doesn't
draft?
matter.
Top scoring being a testament to your draft.
To my draft.
Yeah.
To my overall team.
That's good.
It's my eye for talent.
Oh,
You know?
whoa.
Solid. Who's on your radar for next year? Who's your number 1 rookie right now?
I don't even watch college football.
Yeah.
Thank
who-
you.
who
That
does?
would be my answer as well.
Amateurs.
Amateurs.
Some guy I
Sloppy.
pick. I read about in June.
Yeah, walk-on players that aren't even playing with a scholarship in highlight videos of like Leonard Fournette, and he's just crushing these kids, just trying to get an education and go be a salesman at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Right?
I'll look at the draft recap and then go from there. But Scott's thoughts. I want to give you the final Scott's thoughts. Surprise me now.
Surprise you.
What have you been withholding from us? You're keeping something from us. You're either not defending Adam. You're not telling us something about yourself. You're not defending. There's got to be something else. You're holding something from us, and I need to draw that out of you right now. It's really going to help our view count get from like 9 to 11.
At least.
Help us
11.
make that leap to double digits, Scott, please.
That's gonna climb. Man, I don't know if I could offer just a bit of wisdom.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
if you happen to see a team that's like perennial top 3 team, top 4 team, and you don't understand the strategy that they're using,
They're bad. I agree.
I would say
I'm with you. Yeah.
err on the side that you don't know what they're doing,
Right.
versus they're not trying. You guys saying me not trying week 1? That's a knife wound.
I'm sorry.
I invested. I did my
love it.
research. I had a sound strategy, and I'm
love
sitting
it.
on the other side of my monitor like, you motherfuckers. I can't believe you.
Yo, your strategy is clearly proven.
It's
to-
working.
to be
It's working
solid.
now.
It's working. Shout out to your strategy, but you have to understand at that exact same, like in the same breath, you literally chose 2 of the worst offenses in the NFL and built your team around that.
That's fair. But if you look at the snapshot of that at that point in time, I mean, I explained the Mac and Gore situation.
Which is solid.
There were tons of rumors that Carlos Hyde was going to be traded.
Yes.
They had 2 rookie running backs. I think a running back keeper is probably the best keeper value you can get.
Value.
And I took a 50-50 shot on taking Joe Williams. He ended up on IR. Turned out to be meh. But Frank Gore, I still think, has the potential to be traded this season.
Frank or Carlos?
I'm
Glorious.
sorry. Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde, they're 49ers are getting blown out, and they're still running him to death. They're showcasing. I think that there's a good chance he moves on. There's been a lot of talk about him not fitting the scheme despite his production. Averaged over 4 yards carry for the last 4 years.
That's
one of the
good.
only running backs to do that.
He's big time.
No, he's
very
He looks
talented.
good.
He'll get points based off production, based off opportunity.
Yeah.
And as long as he continues to provide that production, he's going to be a top guy. The 49ers don't have anything in wide receiver. Anything behind Pierre
Nothing.
Garçon.
Not even, no.
And Pierre is another guy who I think is past his prime,
Placeholder.
but he's going to get just absolutely volleyed with targets every week.
He was until Beat Hard came in.
Yeah.
Bethard, sorry.
Yeah, that changes
Yeah.
Not as
It
familiar,
changes a
yeah.
lot. I can agree with you on Carlos Hyde. Extremely talented. I'm praying, because I got Matt Breida, that he does get traded, and then I get another starting running back who happens to be a rookie, who's extremely fast. Good for you, good for me, good for everybody.
I personally think you're nuts. I would never mess with San Francisco or Indianapolis. They're trash heaps, and all you're gonna find in there is bags of
Too broad of a
half-eaten
view.
chips and
Too broad
garbage.
of a view for you.
Well,
I just play Patriots and Dallas, and
So
play
there's
shit
two
like that.
types of strategies you can use. You can look at, I want the number 1 offense who's going to score, have tons of yardage. They're going to those players are going to get a lot of fantasy points just from the efficiency of their offense, right, and how successful they are.
Yeah.
But on the back end, you have teams that are always behind. They're going to have to throw.
right, Pierre
And that's
Garçon
a
is
49er Pierre Garçon type pick where almost every play after the first quarter is going to need to be a passing down situation.
There's a reason I
killing
picked
it.
up. Reason I picked up Duke Johnson.
Right.
Scott, that's the reason you're the first guest, because you are dropping these bombs of
Knowledge
knowledge.
bombs.
You are
Loving it.
sharing it with the
I'm
league.
gonna have to go home and think about stuff. Think
Wow.
about life, you know.
It's all changed
Ponder.
for me. I'd say it's all downhill, but I'm climbing up now. Scott,
You're
thank
welcome. You're welcome.
I'm going to say the same thing to you that I've said to Adam 1,000 times. I'm thankful. Cooper Kupp. Although him choosing Cooper, I would have never chosen Cooper Kupp. If he would have taken Marshawn Lynch, I probably would have taken Lamar Miller and been in a way better place right now. But
See, the
Marshawn hasn't done anything.
The
for
thing
me.
with Cooper Kupp is that I wouldn't have taken him in the first round either.
Exactly. I think he would have slipped.
But
Right.
we do have another player in our league, another owner,
Hatch, former
who-
champion.
who went to college with the guy.
Oh,
Eastern
really?
Washington.
So if you're interested in Kupp, there's not a chance in hell he's going to slide past the guy that went to the same college.
You're right.
So if you want him, you have to take him where you get him.
Did he?
Yeah.
Did he like?
That's
was
what
he
it-
friends with the guy in college?
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
He's
It's
just
not
like,
a
"That's
big
my
college
boy.
So
But
he
shit,
probably
you represent, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. For
Hey,
sure.
Brian
Absolutely.
Walters.
If I went
What's
to
up?
college, I would. Brian Walters. I played Pee Wee ball with Brian Walters for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to play flag football with him in junior high.
Yeah,
That's what's
we
up.
went to high school with him. It was cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
So we rep B Walt.
Yeah.
Shout out.
B.
I'm
Walt.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Repping?
I'm sorry. We rep Super Bowl champion.
The champ.
Yeah, he came to
B.
Seattle
Walt.
for that one year.
He had at
It's
least like 5 return yards that
Wow.
year, right?
I saw him
At
out.
least.
I saw Brian Walters at timeout when he was still with the Chargers, nursing a hamstring injury. He was super
I
cool.
forgot he got drafted by them.
Right? It's wild. But we got to move on beyond Scott's thoughts. Scott's thoughts are beautiful. They look so good. They're amazing. I just want to thank you for sharing your thoughts with us.
Thank you, Scott.
Enlightening.
You're all welcome.
It's truly top notch. Now's the fun part where we get to talk about what happens next week. And I know nobody is more excited about next week's matchup than Adam, because Adam today, before the scores from last week were finalized and tallied and wins and losses were divvied and handed out, this motherfucker was already posting on Facebook about all the trades I'm going to have to make this week and all the wild offers I'm going to have to send out.
Because your team's garbage?
My team this week, due to bye weeks, is garbage, but it took me 3 trades to get somebody. And you're lucky.
So he's not wrong.
I'm not wrong.
You were 100% correct.
It took me 3 trades. You're 100% correct, but I got somebody that's not going to worry about you, or you're not going to have to worry about this week because he's on bye. Traded Alex Smith for DeMarco Murray. We already announced that and broke that news. But this week, I've got 1 girl, 1 cup. That is a 5 versus the 8 matchup. Honestly, guys, I want to be confident and say I got it. I'm really excited. But have you looked
Adam's
at
garbage.
No,
Adam
is not.
Adam put up 176 points last week.
He is
I'm
not.
very thankful. I'm thankful.
Wait, that was when you say when you take his average, you take out the top and the bottom, and that's his top, right?
He's done. Look,
I'm just saying.
I'll give him a little credit because his retreat away last week to go to the owners' collusion meeting, it worked for him. It got him 176 points. Like, that's facts, baby.
He probably did learn some tricks at that camp.
And look,
that
and now
retreat
he's
or
got
whatever.
some new tricks, some new facts, and new tactics to use and collude against me with. But honestly, if you look at my roster, I'm stringing it together with duct tape, okay? It's not good. Dak Prescott, please, baby, carry me to the top. It's all downhill from there. Alex Collins, Tariq Cohen, Thomas Rawls.
Who? Who?
That's rough.
Please, everybody hit home runs.
Kendall
DeAndre
Wright?
Hopkins. I've got Kendall Wright in there
What
at
are
wide
you
receiver.
doing?
Oh, the vomit worthy.
Yeah,
It's
you
not-
better be active on waivers, my friend.
It's
I think
not a
Adam's
good look.
Best strategy is how you have no talent on your roster.
Best player on Adam's team is Brandon Burgoyne.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Rehashing that one at me this time now. No, honestly, bye week hell, there's so many teams on bye week. I'm just getting effed. I would be able.
Now you are not going to have to deal with Todd Gurley, so that is a
Lucky.
bonus for you.
Well, okay,
It's
look.
a huge bonus.
I got a shot.
What do you mean,
okay?
meh?
I got
Adrian
a
Peterson
shot.
out.
Look, I got a shot. Alex Collins, he's getting his opportunities. He's getting 10 to 15 carries a week against Miami. Okay, that is a possibility. Thomas Rawls against Houston. I'm praying there. Zach Ertz, the number 1 tight end in the league over Gronk and every other player that plays the tight end position against San Francisco. Great matchup. DeAndre Hopkins against Seattle. Tough.
That's tough.
And I'll be at that game. I actually won't be watching Red Zone. I will be at the Hawks-Houston game.
Oh yeah.
But you look over at Adam's roster: Ben Roethlisberger, Detroit; Christian McCaffrey, Tampa Bay; LeGarrette Blount, San Francisco; Mike Evans, Carolina; Amari Cooper, Buffalo, which I'm thankful because Buffalo's actually a strong defense; Austin Seferian-Jenkins, who has been the number 1 receiving option for Josh McCown. Look, I need a lot to go my way this next week, and I'm just really
Yes,
hoping
you
that it
do.
does.
Yep.
I'm really hoping that it does. Because, Adam, if I beat you with this roster, you're garbage.
To be clear.
If I was betting right now on who would win this week, I would still bet you. Because I don't make bad bets. My team is not good this week. If I beat you, you're garbage. We're going to move past Adam being garbage because
Oh,
he's
my
going to get
God.
blown out.
Much love to you, bro.
Much love, kind of. And then this matchup I'm really excited about. This one is the 7, Josh, versus the number 1,
Oh.
Andrew.
Light work.
7 versus 1.
Light work.
Before I let you
Thank
guys talk
Thank
about
you for
it
saying what I was going to say.
and get
Thank
out
you.
after each other here, Josh, you're at the cusp again. You're almost top 6, and you only have to beat the number 1 to get there.
Easy.
Only.
Light work.
And Andrew,
Yes.
you have to beat somebody that's going to start Cam Newton to keep your number 1 spot.
Yeah.
Watch.
I'm not. I'm fine.
You're fine?
It's gonna be a fun Sunday. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
Who's
How
Benny
fun.
Fowler?
Yeah,
Ooh,
thank
I
you.
said the same thing.
Benny Fowler's the guy that's gonna give you a 7 1 week and then
I started
nothing.
him. He got his highest points he's
Hey,
gotten
no, he-
at 7.
I like
from
that
my
start
flex.
last week.
Yeah, you told him to
And then
download him to get him.
I'm going to drop him. It's a bye week play. It worked, right?
It did work.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you.
I will shout out.
I don't know who he is to answer your question either. I just
I've never
seen him
even
on
seen-
some like.
He's
or
the
no, you
guy
told
who
him,
gets
he told
catches
me.
when Emmanuel Sanders gets hurt.
Bingo.
That's
bingo.
who he is.
Yeah,
There
he's
you
that
go.
backup. Unfortunately, he still has Trevor Siemian throwing him the ball.
I would say that's probably why they goose egged.
Oh, yeah.
Josh, you got super lucky just that Zeke wasn't banned to play this week and started a suspension.
I called
He's
that
my
right.
one scare right there.
Right? That well,
Zeke.
look, Josh has some names over here. We got Doug Martin, Zeke, Brandon Cooks, Kelvin
I have
Benjamin.
enough names to put
Gronk.
$20 on it against the number
Oh.
1.
Oh, Andrew, are you going to accept that bet?
Yeah, what are you talking about? Come on now.
Light work.
Joking me?
Shit.
Light work.
Are you about to be down 60 on the year?
Well, it would be 160 if I lost that, but I don't think I'm going to.
All right. All
So,
right.
light work.
It's gonna be fun.
Scott, who you got looking at them this week? Not long term.
I'm in range to cut you. Just saying.
I think Andrew could not play a defense special teams and still come out 10 points ahead.
Oh, that's a
The
nice thing to
statistician.
say. Okay.
Oh, man.
Okay. Who
It's
you got,
rough.
Brandon? Who you got?
Yes, Andrew.
Thank you.
Because you updated your
Oh.
GIF.
I will
Come
also
on,
take
okay.
myself.
Okay.
Wait, can we get a shout out to the GIF right here, the new one for
Oh,
Set
yeah,
It
yeah.
and Fernet
Yeah,
It?
shut
Oh.
up.
Because
Yes.
Josh,
That's
I
a good
believe
one.
I
Yeah.
believe in this
Oh.
GIF, you are getting laid
This
out.
is your gift.
Yeah.
Your gift
it's
this year.
funny. He
You're
tried to
getting
show it to me earlier.
murked.
I was like, oh, yeah.
All for you.
It's
The 7.1 comes right out from behind your dead body. He's
how I view
already
you.
got you marked for the L.
I view you as a punter trying to tackle me on a kick return who doesn't see the blocker.
This is Antonio Brown. He's gonna jump kick your face.
they call me Ryan Plackmeyer or whatever the guy
Who?
from the Seahawks
Ryan
is.
Plackmeyer?
Yeah, I messed
Is that
his
what
name
gets
up
stuck in
because
my
how ugly
teeth
he
if I
is.
don't brush him?
He's ugly. What's his name?
I don't know.
Who's the punter from the Seahawks? Ryan something.
The punter for the Seahawks.
Oh, why is his name?
Matt. His
No,
last
it's
name.
Ryan.
What the
It's
hell?
Ryan something.
Why
Yeah, we all
it
know
was
him.
close. It was
We all
close.
should know this.
Wow, this is
It
embarrassing.
was close. I
Oh,
was trying to
God.
give you half the work.
Cut this.
No.
No.
John
This is
Ryan.
embarrassing.
So he
Thank
butchered
you.
it. So
Yeah.
John
bad.
Ryan.
So bad.
John
He screwed it up.
It's
for
John
Ryan,
Ryan.
hold on.
John
Ryan
Got it.
Plackmeyer. Ryan Plackmeyer.
Where do you
That's
get
the shit
this?
that gets stuck in my teeth if I
That's
don't
what I
brush
think
them.
of when he takes a face with a face plant trying to run.
I think you
a
combined
messed up
three
punt.
punters.
Hey,
into
shout
one.
out to Ryan Plackmeyer.
Shout out Ryan.
Oh my God, I can't
I
put
love
any
it.
money on you. You're garbage.
Okay,
You're
John Ryan
Ryan
for the record.
John Ryan, the punter,
Garbage too.
and one of the best players in the postseason, especially for his passing
He
touchdowns.
broke his nose on that. I can just remember that one play. He tried to jump over dude and broke his nose.
Oh, he's a god.
Oh, it was so funny.
He's goat. Look, you don't mess
Like
with him.
3 out of the 4 times he's thrown the ball, he's done it with his eyes closed. It's pretty funny.
Who else? Who else?
Only Blackemeyer. That's it.
Oh goodness! So this next matchup, it's settled. Andrew versus Josh. 7 versus the
Light
1.
work.
Can Josh get to the
Pinnacle.
top 6?
He would break up.
We'll see. Scott, you're our next matchup here. All you have to do is not fuck it up because it's the 3 versus the 12,
Oh Lord.
and we're in a 12
That'd be
team
the
league.
last.
Yeah.
G-rated funny Thundercats versus the Meat Sweat, still without an icon. Shame.
I predict you lose by 6 points this week. To your
Predict
IDPs.
Scott loses to your IDPs. Okay.
How are you feeling, Scott? Are you going to start at IDP or are you confident enough to not?
I could probably not.
Probably.
but
We asked you, are you going to or not?
The probability is that I don't have to.
But,
Okay.
are you?
At this point, actually,
You're scared?
I wouldn't say scared. I
So
would say,
our proposition to you, which we planned, was, are you going to play this week with no IDPs?
or just
Yeah.
one?
It's
just one.
the
Just one.
last
We-
ranked player, and you're scared?
yeah, but
You can't make
it's
your
not about
point.
being scared.
You can't make
It's
your
about
point.
making smart
How about this?
decisions.
If it works and you win without them, then you make your point. They suck, and we won't keep talking
That's
about
not
them.
worth the loss.
I
Though.
don't think you'll stop talking about it though.
If you win,
If we make a deal,
if you win without them, We will. We will stop giving you shit about IDPs.
Perhaps in a couple of weeks, but
You're scared.
I'm on a W3
Church.
streak.
You shouldn't be
I'm
watching
gonna keep
football on
hating
Sunday.
that.
You should be in church.
Shows how much he respects them. You know,
You
the
know?
DPs.
I was just trying to make that point, and
Thank
I
you
think it
for-
was made.
Thank you for respecting Kelly. Oh, excuse me.
No, Cam.
Cam.
They're all the
Cam,
same when they
Cam.
don't
Sorry,
have
I see 12 and I
pictures.
think Kelly.
No, they don't have pictures.
I'll be honest. When I was setting my lineup earlier today, I was going back and forth on what receivers I wanted to play. I have Hilton, T.Y. Hilton, Tyreek Hill, Nelson Aguilar, and Pierre Garçon, and I was going back and forth trying to figure out which combination I wanted. Then I saw my opponent and was like, "Screw it, who cares?"
It doesn't matter.
I'll play who I want to see.
Roll some dice.
You know, Nelson's been on a hot streak.
I like Aguilar.
Hell yeah.
you
No, he looks good.
Mhm.
should
It's the
definitely
reason I got
play.
rid of Dalshawn.
Yeah.
I really want to pull Hilton out of my lineup, but even if he's the third receiver in my lineup,
Keep
You
him
gotta
in.
keep
just
him
gotta
in,
keep
man.
him in.
Yeah.
You gotta
You know?
keep him in.
Ride
man.
him out.
Honestly,
Pause.
Nelson Aguilar.
Pause.
Was he racist again?
No, he said
No,
ride him
that
out.
was
It's
not.
all good. We can move
Oh,
on.
he
Continue
would for
on.
sure.
He tried
Wait,
to
are his
sneak it
hands
in.
big enough
He
though?
tried to sneak it in.
Are those
you know?
11s?
They better be.
TYs? TY got big hands?
Yeah, if you write him out and he's got like 9s, you don't leave your phone number.
Pause.
Just leave in the morning. But Nelson Aguilar,
Christ.
he's the one player. Like, every year I got that one player I regret not picking up when I'm telling myself I need to pick that player up.
Deshaun Watson.
For you, right? Nelson Aguilar is that player for me this year because I saw him plenty of times as a free agent. I was like, okay, he's got that shot. He looks better because he's catching the ball. Where last year he dropped it, he just looked garbage.
right?
But this year he's looked really good, and you have him, and it pisses me off.
He's a number 10 ranked receiver right now.
Is he 10th?
He's
Heck
10.
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, Wentz is a
Big
monster.
plays.
Did
Big
this run
plays.
out of batteries?
Oh, no, I just don't have it up right now.
Oh, gosh, it makes sense.
He had it up. I forgot just.
It's just crazy. He looks really good. He's got big hands too. If you just look at him play, he could make the hands
That's
team.
crazy.
You might want to pull that up. But look, Cam's no slouch this week either. He's got some bad matchups, but he's got some names. He's got the Danny Amendola who could go off. Jimmy Graham could go off. Jerick McKinnon, if he gets to start, could go off. Amir Abdullah, if the Pittsburgh Steelers don't shut him down, he could go off. It's not written in stone. It's written in clay that needs to be heated up until it's turned into stone. Like, it's pretty
I'm taking
close.
Cam this week.
You're crazy.
Yeah, I think
Did
so
you put
too.
money on that?
No?
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
think so.
exactly.
Okay.
This is how we do that. Cam, man.
Until Abdullah had 2 really good preseason games. Beyond that, haven't been impressed by him. Matt Ryan is not playing.
He's not enough.
He's not doing it this year. Jerick McKinnon, I was actually pretty high on him till Latavius Murray decided to run through the other defense like it was nothing.
Out of nowhere last week. Like,
Yeah,
McKinnon was
gracious.
looking like the guy for 2 weeks in a row, and
Right.
Latavius just all of a sudden gets those carries.
So I think
Can't trust it.
Yeah, I mean, at least I think at a minimum it'll be a timeshare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Danny Amendola, he could have a good 12, 15-point day, but he's not going to
Ceiling.
break the bank.
Do you remember Captain Planet?
Oh, absolutely.
Danny
He's our hero.
Amendola is the heart ring. Okay. He's not the strongest one. One tap and he's done.
Right.
ring.
But he brings it. He brings all the heart.
Jimmy Graham, if he can hold on to the ball and we decide to throw it.
If it's
Oh,
thrown
my
at
God.
his, shoulders. not
Catch
his
it. He's paid
feet.
millions of dollars. It hit his body.
All we have to do is get to the 1-yard line and we'll throw, so he has a chance.
Stop.
So-
Will you stop it? Will you stop it? That's
Whose
still a
side are
touchy
you on,
subject.
Scott?
Not Bevels.
Not the fair point. I won't.
Does he know what a screen pass is?
I won't die on that hill.
Oh, we're great at throwing passes for 1 yard.
Bubble screen attempts. We don't do screenplays. I hate
We've
it.
only had like 2. I heard this.
We tried
this year.
2, and Rawls dropped one because he's never seen it. And then
Don't
the
say
other
that.
one,
Don't
you know
say
what he
that.
did on the
What's
other one?
going
He
on?
ran past his blockers.
I saw that. He was just so eager.
Yeah.
He's just so downhill.
Yes.
That's why I'm starting him this week. Come on, Thomas, make me smart. But Scott,
Yeah, I'm not threatened at
You
all.
shouldn't feel.
No, I don't think you should.
But take it from somebody that just lost to the Dukes of Hazzard. Anything could happen.
I'm taking Cam this week. You got Scott?
Yeah, I got
You got
Scott.
Scott?
I got Scott.
You got Cam? Okay, good. You're paying attention.
Come on now.
All right.
We're going to move on to this next matchup. This is the 11 versus the 2. We don't need to spend too much time on it. The Juggernaut at the former defending champion.
The Juggernaut.
Yeah,
11.
that's crazy.
He's got an uphill battle. He
It's
can
rough
still make
all
the
around.
playoffs.
It's a fall from grace.
Anybody but the Meat Sweats and Kelly can still make the playoffs. Well, technically Kelly still can. He's at a 1% chance to make the playoffs.
You got it, Kelly.
I believe.
I mean, yeah. Okay.
11 versus the 2 here. It's tough to gauge the matchup. They haven't set their players. Jason looks great. He's got Le'Veon Bell, Devonta Freeman, Julio Jones, Des Bryant, Jordan Reed, and Michael Crabtree.
The normal squad.
A very talented bunch in there. Josh, question for you. How can you beat a team like that and lose to a team like the Meat Sweats?
That was week 1 when he didn't have all his injuries. Meat Sweats wasn't bad.
Wasn't
That
built
week
up.
1.
Wasn't built up.
I'm just checking. I'm just
Just
asking.
saying.
You beat the best team and lose to statistically the worst.
Right. It was in the beginning of the year. He wasn't the worst at that point. He was doing a lot better because his team wasn't as injured, etc. So.
Okay.
Just
Hatch,
needed like 10 more draft picks.
He just needed, like-
Put that roster together.
Yo,
you like that?
Yo, Cam, I'll trade you 3 picks, 3, 4, and 5. Can I pick a player on your team or what? Is that the way it
Deals.
works? How's it work?
It's not bad. I mean, I think we've all got Jason here. The Juggernaut, thank you for trading me DeMarco Murray. I hope Alex Smith continues to be the number 1 overall fantasy producing player, at least in our league this year for you, except when you and I face each other.
Now, he did mention online, the Juggernaut, that he was not happy about his number 12
Please.
roster rank in the power rankings.
Speak on it.
And this last week, he laid a goose egg of 88. And then you're looking
Not
at his
even triple
team.
digit?
You're looking at his team this week, and he's starting Wendell Smallwood.
Oh.
So due to injuries, his roster is not looking
with
good.
respect,
It's
but
not.
still the way
And bye
it's
week.
looking.
And bias.
So it looks like
Right.
straight boo boo. Is
Right.
what you're trying to say.
This
Straight
is the
just
worst
Well,
bye
I
week of
think
the
it's-
year.
Yeah,
Tra-
it's
trash.
rough for him right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's rough. I mean, anytime you lose David Johnson
Yes,
and
yeah.
Andrew
But
Luck,
I
two
do
of his
think-
keepers, it's going to be a rough year. So I'll shout him out there.
But I do
for
think
sure,
that
for
when
sure.
you showed him how it's calculated, he was okay with it. I think he saw that. And was like, yeah,
He
that
still
sounds
thought it was
about
dumb.
right.
He accepted
Well, no one's
that
gonna like
the
being
numbers
last.
came from not my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's
So-
not an opinion thing. It's a
That's what it was.
calculated, yeah.
Really.
Right. But we all got BMP there. The next and final matchup we're going to go over is a 10 versus 6. Smelly Kelly Waters climbing out of the pits up from 12 to number 10 versus Seattle's Second Harvest, who, with a strong roster, still is very creative in ways that he loses. Kelly, this could be your second win, I believe.
Can
I
you get it?
believe.
Can Kelly get it?
I'm not sure about that, but
You don't think Kelly get 2?
not this week.
Not this week.
I don't think so this
He
week.
might. Look, Chris
AJ
Thompson.
Green?
Chris Thompson is going to go off. He always does. Michael Thomas, he's not going to go off. Chicago's a sneaky good defense. Thielen is, you see that Cleveland matchup, and you're like, oh man, Thielen could do it. Let me tell you, as somebody that started a wide receiver, it got 0 points against Cleveland.
Cleveland's got a stud defense.
They're not a slouch.
Don't
Which
sleep.
next year is going to be Cleveland's year for sure. But I think Minnesota's defense is going to give Adam Thielen every opportunity because Joe Thomas is now out for the year.
Yeah.
Rip.
The
Yeah,
streak ended.
What was it, 10,000 something?
Over.
That's not. It's incredible.
The meme is over 9,000. Joe Thomas is over 10,000. He's the new meme.
Just crazy.
Nuts.
Wild.
But he has to do. Kelly has to do this without his second highest scoring player on the field, the Jaguars D.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
Yeah,
Actually,
so
looking at
that's,
that.
that's
Oh, he's got one,
Just
two,
across
three,
the board.
4, 5, 6,
that's
7
rough for
players
him.
on bye.
It's rough for him this week.
Wow.
Just across the board, 1-to-1. I would take Chris's quarterbacks, running backs, receiver, tight
Yep.
end, flex,
Yep.
defense player, defense, kicker. I don't even care about that.
100%.
Wow. Yeah.
You don't care about the kicker?
You should.
I mean, I care enough that I put one in my roster every week.
Also more
but
than IDPs.
Slightly.
So that was our 10 versus 6. Smelly Waters versus Seattle's Second Harvest. I think we all got the Second Harvest here.
Yeah.
Are you gonna take Kelly?
I'm that guy this week.
I won't ask you if you're gonna put money down on it, but you're gonna take Kelly.
Kelly is scoring at a consistent rate to beat Second Harvest, so I'm not even trolling when I say Kelly.
He is putting them points up.
Kelly's a monster.
Gonna be close.
Shout out
Taking
to that.
AJ Green in the crew.
What? No, yeah, I'm taking Chris. 100%.
Yeah,
Are you joking?
100%. So I know I said it was our last matchup last time. That's just because I've already forgotten about the Dukes of Hazzard because he beat me this last week. This is actually
Hazardous Duke on your face.
our 3 points.
Atomic Duke.
3 points. It was all it took. But you know what? That was last week. I'm just trying to go 1-0 this next week.
Gotta move
That's all
on.
that matters. This matchup here is a 4 versus a 9. The team that should not be named, former Dynasty Pot champion Tim versus the Dukes of Hazzard, who shares the same record as Tim.
Crazy
as the 9.
how that turned out.
Yep.
I'll give you some names here. We got, for the team that shall not be named, Carson Wentz, looks amazing. Kareem Hunt, team on his back. LaShawn McCoy, finally got some TDs. Keenan Allen, Mohamed Sanu, Jared Cook, and Lamar Miller. Who knows if that's how it's going to look exactly when he actually plays. It's,
Right.
Tuesday night. He could, waivers, yada, 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 bye weeks, all the above. The Dukes of Hazzard, though, a tougher position. Tyrod Taylor, Jay Ajayi, Mark Ingram, Juju Smith, in concussion protocol Schuster, Paul Richardson, Jason Witten.
You see that catch last week?
One-handed, baby.
I
He
didn't
just
see it.
held the guy off and just
Oh, that was
"Line."
nice.
He's good.
Yeah.
He's
Routine.
good. You cannot hate on Jason Witten. He's been doing it since I was a baby. And then Cordero Patterson, or Cordarrelle. I don't know. How do you say it?
Cordero Patterson.
Scott, what do you think?
See, I'm getting the name right this time.
I think it's Cordell.
Cordell.
Oh, goodness.
There's 2 R's in there. You can't forget about him.
One silent.
Today, at least.
All right, Cordell Patterson it is. I like it.
That's a throw up for Cordell. I mean,
It's better than Manoray Jackson.
Scott, what do you think
I don't
about
know
this?
about
You think
better.
Tim's going to take it? Is there any X factors here for you with like the Dukes or? I mean, you've got it pulled up right in front of you. So what are your thoughts on it?
I do have it pulled. Okay. There's a couple of roster adjustments I think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, for sure.
I think playing Josh Doxson this week. I think that's.
Doxson.
I would take
You have
him
to.
over Sanu.
yeah, for
I would
sure.
Play him over Lamar Miller. I'm not a Miller fan. But the hit to Aaron Rodgers, of losing Aaron Rodgers for the Dukes.
That hurts.
Tyrod Taylor is a horrible second option.
I agree.
He's boom or way bust.
Just the Buffalo's offense.
Yeah, yeah.
What receivers do they have? They don't even have Clay's gone.
Right.
Think of that one. Was it Dwayne Bowe back in the day? Who was their good guy that never came? They had some.
Sammy Watkins.
Was it Watkins?
Watkins
For the Bills,
my
yeah.
God.
Well, they do have Jordan Matthews.
Yeah, you go
But
further
He's
back.
not worth
Yeah, go
mentioning.
further back.
Don Beebe.
Oh my God.
Who?
PB.
Oh my.
Who bringing that
Right,
old
that guy.
knowledge?
Yeah.
I'm gonna draft Don Beebe next year.
But yeah, I don't see the Dukes pulling this one out.
No, really, he's got Mark Ingram going for him. That's it. Jay Ajayi is underperformed, and then he's got second and third tier players beyond that.
JJ is in like the top. He's a top 10 in rushing yards. He just can't find the end zone.
Yeah.
Are you? I'm looking at him not have a touchdown right now, but I mean his yardage is 122, 16, 46, 77, 130, and 51.
Yeah, I think
I heard
the
4
leading
under 60s.
the leading rusher has something like the 600s. It's not. We're still early. But
Who's the
I'm
leading
gonna
rusher?
look
Is it
at these.
Kareem?
Oh,
Or is
of
it
course, it's
Fournette?
Kareem Hunt for
It's
sure.
not Fournette, or is it Zeke?
No, it's gotta be
Zeke's been kinda
Kareem.
down.
No, the leading. Okay, here we go.
Zeke has a 5. That's probably why he's not up there.
Here's the leading rusher. Oh, actually, fuck, you're right. Jay Ajayi, he's up there. Okay, so leading rushers: Kareem Hunt, 717; Le'Veon Bell, 684; Todd Gurley, 627; Leonard Fournette, 596; Jordan Howard, 560; Zeke, 540.
Is that after this week?
Jay Ajayi?
Yeah, it would be.
442. This is counting all stats to this point.
Yeah,
Okay,
this is
so
after
what
week
was the
7.
first one? In what, 7 something?
Yeah. So Jay Ajayi
Yeah.
is 7th with
Oh, okay.
442.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kareem
really nice.
Hunt is number 1 at 717.
And who's third? What's third F?
Todd Gurley 627.
Okay, so there's your.
It's pretty nice. Yeah.
There's a big drop off between 6 and 7. That's where it's 98 yards.
Just happens to be
Okay.
the guy that we're talking about, though.
Right.
But still,
He's
if
up
he
there,
would have
man.
played the first week and didn't get that bye week,
It's true. Yeah.
But Jay can have one of those 200-yard games that he got 3-4 times last year. You know,
all he had was an occasional game last year.
Got
That's
him some
why
commercials
I look
and-
at Jay Ajayi and Melvin Gordon the same way.
ouch.
Except Jay Ajayi
Ouch,
from.
is it right?
Melvin Gordon
Jay
higher.
Ajayi's
He's
from
higher.
England.
You know, he's trending up and to the right. But I view those two in the same bucket. Like, you have to prove it. I don't
Bucket,
believe in
he
you.
said.
Go do shovel
Yeah,
cut.
I would look at
shovel
like
cut,
the
right?
total offense
Right.
and say the Chargers offense. They seem to always underperform.
Yeah.
But just looking at the pieces, I'm like, they should have like a top 5 offense.
They should.
They should,
But
it's crazy.
P. Rivers.
Felipe Rios.
How's he?
Yeah.
How you feel? Is he any good?
He was.
I mean, he slings the
Washed.
ball. you
Washed.
know. Not like Roethlisberger.
Stop
Ooh.
it. Are you real
Rough.
right now?
Rough.
Stop it.
Dude.
Please stop it.
5 picks.
He said he was done. He was like, I just don't got it anymore. And the next day he was like, oh, yeah, you just got to brush it off.
Oh, that's right. I have Antonio Brown. I'll throw it to him.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty much what he said.
He got it. But that was our last matchup here. You know, they're both 4-3. I think we all would take the team that should not be named to win this. He should win this.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
Yes.
they're both 4-3. So anything could happen.
So they're equal to this point in the year.
By ESPN records, yes.
Okay.
But by power rankings, they're on opposite ends of
What
the
are their
spectrum.
power rankings?
It's a 4 versus a 9.
Oh, just to put that in perspective. Okay.
Right. So they're both 4-3, same records, but if Dukes wins, he could jump up to like 6 or 7, and then the team that shall not be named, he could fall.
I have a request. Can we stop talking about the Dukes and get on to top?
It is time.
Please.
I was
I'm
right
begging.
there. The time is now top or flop.
Oh, top or flop.
Oh, slop.
We're
Slap me in the
Toppy.
face.
maybe flopping. Close your computers, everybody.
No cheating.
No
Scott.
cheating. Even though you can't, we're not asking questions about who's top or who's flop. We've kind of made a change here. Anything could happen week to week, but I like the fact where we project out for next week. So it's going to be a little different today because, Scott, you're in. You represent the guest seat.
All right.
The guest seat can beat either of these guys. Both of
New
them.
twist.
New twist, right?
What's
So-
a twist?
Again, we won't know the results until next week, but
Sure.
top or flop. Somebody's getting a point for the week. If the guest gets the point, it's doubled, and it gets 2 points.
I like
Because
it.
who knows how many guests we're going to have on, so
And you represent team guest.
you
so
represent
Alright.
team guest.
Don't fail
All right.
them. Try and get those points.
All right.
proud.
And as the guest, because you've never played top or flop before, I'm sure you've played along with us week by week.
Sure.
But because you've never officially played, you're going to get first choice.
All right.
And here's how it's going to work. I'm going to give you guys a situation and options to choose from. You get to choose which option you want to ride with as the guest team first. And then these guys are going to rock, paper, scissors to determine who goes second and who goes third.
And that's not fair because I am a rock, paper, scissors master.
Yeah, I'm just going to give it to him.
So
So, Josh,
Concede. I'll take
you're,
last.
you're conceding. You're taking. Now,
He
I
knows.
played
One,
him.
yeah.
I played him, and I beat him.
That was never seen.
it was an off.
I never. Oh, it happened?
He admitted it right
It was
there.
an off day.
Oh, you lost.
He admitted it. He's not that good.
Oh.
But you're going to concede. So because of this concession, for the sake of time, thank you, you're going to choose first. You're going to choose from leftover. And you're going to choose from the scraps, Josh.
Scraps it is. Hey,
Okay.
she's still kicking, then I'm good.
The scraps can...
Hey.
Scraps can win. But before we talk about this week's questions and top or flop, I need to go back to last week and talk about who won. Have you guys looked at this? Because it was a blowout.
Just
yeah,
saying.
it wasn't a good one.
Andrew,
Oh, did I win?
you won the very first question with
And
Mike
nothing
Evans
else.
or Keenan Allen. Who would get more receptions? Josh took the other 4.
Let's go.
That's going to give Josh top or flop.
Let's go.
So that
I wanted to start him off on a high note.
Well, you did that when you were racist in week 1. You've been climbing back until this point. So you just gave him the lead again. Now, Josh, currently at 3. Andrew, you're at 2. Top or flop rankings.
Okay, well, I'm not that far off.
You know what?
Whatever.
At the end of next week,
Call me captain.
it could be the
Top or
same or
flop.
not. Just to recap here for everybody really quickly. I didn't even take the point totals down, but, more receptions, Mike Evans or Keenan Allen. Andrew chose Mike Evans, took that home. Which running back will have more points? Le'Veon Bell or Leonard Fournette. Josh won because Andrew chose a player that didn't even play.
Wow.
Which defense scores more
Winning.
points? But hold on, I don't even feel bad for you because
Oh, you shouldn't.
in the podcast we were talking about how Fournette was injured, and you were so confident about him playing. So it's on you.
Yeah, I didn't realize.
Which defense
Get
is going to
wrecked.
score more points? Jags or Ravens? Easy. It was the Jags. Josh
Got him.
Which quarterback is going to score more points? Tyrod Taylor or Blake Bortles?
You bet on T-Mobile?
You chose
I
T-Mobile.
think it was like, what, 0.3 of a point off?
A little
knew that
more.
was
So
going to
don't
be the
even-
difference.
a
and that's
little
why I
more.
took Blake
Yeah.
Bortles.
It was really close. You got
Bortles.
so lucky Blake Bortles had his best week of like
Keep
the
saying
last 2
luck.
years.
Keep saying luck.
Okay. You got really lucky that Blake Bortles put up
Just
34.1 and Tyrod Taylor only put up 33.1. It was the closest match. And then Josh,
Thank
you got lucky. Sorry.
Yeah, see
Josh,
how that works.
you out of tight ends to score more points. I don't even understand. I think he was just trying to give you one. He chose Brait over Kelsey. You chose Kelsey, the smart choice.
So, I guess you have no idea what Brait's number has been the last 4 weeks.
I'm
right?
sorry.
Get him.
Was it as high as O.J. Howard's last week? Because
Oh,
that's the one that counted.
No, but you can go check later on.
No, I'm not going to go check. We're going to move on to this week's top or flop. All I know is, Andrew, you took the L. I don't need to check anything.
Yeah.
You should probably look in a mirror and evaluate your decisions.
All right.
Tiger blood over here.
Tiger
Winning.
blood. 3-2.
Let's go. Came out
We're
on
bringing
top.
in the X factor. Scott, these questions aren't much different than they were last week. It's simple. We're projecting. We're looking at who's the top and who's the flop.
Sure.
Top and flop so far. Just to point
Just to
out.
clarify.
Yeah.
We're,
Tickety top.
At least you have something.
Hey.
This one is kind of a little mixed bag question because I titled it "Which offense will score more points this week?" But the defenses can score. So which team will have the higher point total in actual NFL? So like
okay.
27-20, that sort of shit. Which team will score more points this week? And you can choose anyone. Baltimore, Jacksonville, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Colts, or the Lions.
A little slower, please.
Do I get to know their matchups?
Yeah, I'll tell you. Who do you want to know?
All.
Okay.
Thank you, Scott.
No, we do this. This is how it really goes. So we are looking at. Let me go to next week. Always takes a second to pull this up. Top or flop?
Flop.
This is a flop.
Flop.
Hey, do you guys value your time? Because I don't. That's why this segment is always the most boring and takes the longest. So, Baltimore. How the fuck? This is going to take forever to do this.
Yeah,
This is going to take forever. Scott, why do you do this to me? You're the reason this segment
You could
sucks.
just say no and make
Okay.
me guess.
Baltimore gets the Dolphins on Thursday night. Jacksonville.
Just say no. He told you what to say.
You know what, Scott? No.
Okay.
All right, what were the options?
What were the teams again?
What team is going to score more points? Baltimore, Jacksonville, the Panthers, the Raiders, the Colts, or the Lions? You go with your gut right now. It doesn't matter who they're playing.
I'm going to say the Raiders.
The Raiders,
Put the guest seat down for Raiders.
Raiders are playing
who are playing the Bills. All right, Andrew. What's offense is going
You
to
don't get
team?
to pick
This is
Raiders.
serious.
Yeah, Baltimore, Jacksonville, the Panthers, the Colts, or the Lions.
Who's going to put up the most points?
Yeah,
I already know what I'm
Okay,
choosing.
one more time.
Baltimore,
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville,
Mhm.
Panthers,
Mm-hmm.
Colts,
Mm-hmm.
or Lions.
I think you're on mine.
I'm going Jacksonville.
Well, the Jacksonville Jaguars are actually on a bye, so that's a hard 0.
All
All right, Josh.
I got all excited for Leonard Fournette again. What can I say?
There is a trap. There might be traps in here, guys.
Trap play.
Oh my god. It's like Leonard Fournette, 0 again.
I'm going to go with the Panthers.
The Panthers.
Because Cam Newton and the crew is going to show out this week.
That's my second choice.
You're funny. How many times you told me Leonard Fournette's on bye versus me?
And that's why I'm so surprised.
I
You of all
love that.
people, but I
got
need
excited. I'm sorry.
I need your answer here, Andrew. So
No, he's zeroed
Baltimore Colts or
there.
Lions?
No, he's zeroed there.
Baltimore Colts or Lions? I'll go.
You should get Baltimore just for that.
No. I'm gonna go Lions. I think
The Lions?
Stafford's always good to put up some numbers.
Yeah, if there were a fourth player here in Top or Flop, they would choose the Lions, but you actually chose Jacksonville, so
Oh, got him.
You get a hard 0 right here.
Get wrecked.
Let me put your name right next to Jacksonville because maybe the Panthers get. Oh no, it's not the defensive points we're talking about. It doesn't matter if they get negative. Okay, that was the only trap play. If I put something else in here on bye weeks, then I'll correct it. Which running back, Scott, will have more points this week? Fantasy points
Gotcha.
in our league. Devonta Freeman, Melvin Gordon, Mark Ingram, Carlos Hyde, or Le'Veon Bell?
I'm going to go with my man.
Which one? Two of those players. Oh,
Mr. Melvin Gordon.
Melvin
here.
G.
Bounce back.
wow. You really think quite lowly of him because this is the first time all day that you've addressed him as not future Hall of Famer.
I think it's a given at this point.
So you think worse of him. That's what I'm hearing. Andrew?
All right, again. Nick?
Leonard Fournette, Devontae Freeman, Melvin Gordon.
Well, you can stop there. Just hold up.
Devonta Freeman. Wait, I put Scott next to Mark Ingram. That's not right. So Devonta Freeman, Mark Ingram, Carlos Hyde
For 15 games of the season.
for 15 games of the season. Did you like that, by the way?
If he can be healthy for 15 games in the season, that'll carry me through the fantasy playoffs. So
Right, but he's hiding for 15 because he's
We call him Carlos Hydes for 15 games.
yeah. That's catchy, right?
yeah,
You
but
owned him last
also
year when he-
wrong through
Well,
7 weeks.
Accountability.
This year. But last year, he showed out just like so. The last 2 years in a row, he just went off in week 1, and then he did nothing the rest of the 15 weeks.
I would say check that stat sheet. Carlos Hyde was one of my 4 running backs that was in the top. I think it was top 12.
That's
Top
a lot of
10.
fake news you're spitting out over there. We're not going to
Fake
check it.
news. Andrew, who's
check
your
it.
running back?
Andrew, who you got? You've had plenty of time to think, and I haven't heard a name. We've had to BS with bringing Scott in.
I'll go Freeman
Freeman.
Well,
for sure.
since I got last, I'm going to assume that Le'Veon Bell's still available.
Sir, do you want Le'Veon Bell?
I'll ring the bell. Ding dong.
Wow. Ring his Le'Veon Bell.
Ding dong.
LL. Ring his bell.
Ella.
Okay.
Le'Veon Bella, Ella.
This one, Scott, now we're talking defensive fantasy points.
Sure.
Okay. The Bengals, the Steelers, Eagles, Vikings, Ravens, Seahawks,
Bengals.
or Saints.
Going Bengals.
Because they're against the 49ers. Or Indianapolis.
Indianapolis.
And that's why you're sitting Marlon Mack and Frank Gore.
I haven't started either one all season. I'm
Nice
waiting
drafts.
for I'm
Nice
waiting
drafts.
for Mac for next season.
You haven't put Frank Gore in once this year?
Not once.
Wow. That's some cojones.
Wow.
You take last week aside, and all 3 of my receivers top 20. So not
Solid.
hurting.
Not
And that
too
was
shabby.
before I grabbed Nelson Aguilar, who's the number 10 receiver.
You've had him on the bench for a little while now because I
Yeah.
tried to grab him 2-3 weeks ago.
Aguilar?
Yeah.
Like,
I've had him for 2 weeks now.
yeah.
Hey, will you guys stop making top or flop so boring? We got to stay on
Sorry.
topic here.
Jeez.
Oh my God. Some of us are trying to do some work. Andrew, which defense is going to score more points?
You said the Vikings?
They are an option to
I'm
choose
taking the Vikings.
because they're against Cleveland.
Always. I know that. So that's who I'll take.
Josh, your choice. Steelers against Detroit, Eagles versus somebody, the Ravens, the Seahawks, or the Saints.
I'm gonna go with my boys here, and Earl Thomas, and I'm gonna start Earl Thomas as a safety
Against the rookie.
just for this.
Deshaun.
It's just you'll see.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you.
Watch this,
Yeah.
Okay.
You tucking him up to Will Fuller. It's all
bro.
good.
The Seahawks are playing off the charts right now.
We are going to move up to the top.
Those
Not
were flop
flops.
questions.
Those were flop questions.
Oh,
We're
okay.
going to the top here
Oh, I
because
didn't
we're
even know
talking
that.
about which quarterbacks are going to score the most fantasy points in our
Cam
league
Newton.
this year. I'm sorry, we're talking about tops, not flops. So Cam Newton is not an applicable option. You have to score at least your projection, not a third of it. Scott, Tom Brady, Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, Drew Brees.
Total points on the season?
No,
No,
because
this week.
top or flop must be decided by next week.
Sure. Tom Brady.
Tom Brady.
It's kind of stacked.
I chose the tops, minus Alex Smith. I left the number
It's a
one
tops.
fantasy quarterback and producer out of the question because it would be obvious Alex Smith would be the first choice.
You're funny.
Andrew, who's it going to be?
Can you give me one more time?
Drew Brees, Dak.
Will you say hit me, baby, one more time?
No, but you could.
Well, fine. Carson Wentz, Dak Prescott, or Drew Brees?
I'll go Wentz.
Josh? Dak
I'm
Prescott or
gonna
Drew
go
Brees?
Drew
I know it's going to be
Brees.
Drew Brees. I know Dak was going
Yeah.
to get chosen. You guys hate me, and that's fine.
No, I gotta show love to my boy, Drew Brees, man.
Breezy boy.
And you know what?
awesome.
You have a good strategy because how can Dak Prescott score points if all they're going to do is hand it off to
Ezekiel
to
Elliott,
Zeke?
Yep.
Zeke got
Hopeful thinking.
47.
2.4 more points.
But why wouldn't they?
Oh, this one is going to hurt Josh. Which tight end is going to score more points? Ertz, the number one. Gronk, Kelsey, Brait, Witten, Evan Ingram, or Kyle Rudolph. This week, this upcoming week.
I'm going to go with Kelsey.
Ooh, taking the matchup play. Wild card. You weren't expecting that. Andrew.
Here, I'll let Josh choose next.
Gronk.
Get that out of the way.
And then I know you're going to take Ertz. Andrew, you could have taken that anyways.
That's not who I'm taking.
What?
Can you read him again?
Take Brait in his face.
Well, he tried that last week and it didn't work out.
Yeah,
Can you,
don't
can you
do
read
that.
who's available real quick?
Yeah,
All the time.
Cameron Brait, Jason Witten, Evan Ingram, Kyle Rudolph.
I mean, I should go Ertz, but
You should. You're not going to.
I'm not going to.
Because you make smart plays like Jaguars. I'm sorry, Mercedes Lewis is not an option here.
I'll go Zach Ertz.
Mercedes Lewis it is.
I'll go Zach Ertz, though.
That's the smart play. I mean, after, pretty much getting yourself a 0 on the first question, you really got to win.
Don't
Right.
pick the dinosaur Kyle Rudolph.
Yeah.
Is Mercedes Lewis even in the league still?
He is. He scored 3
4
touchdowns.
touchdowns on the year.
He scored
I
3
don't know.
touchdowns in 1 week.
He's looking
That's
really,
impressive.
really
It was.
tall.
And mediocre ever since that week.
Isn't Julius Thomas there?
He had a sick one-handed catch this last week.
I don't know what's going on.
So they're doing 2 tight end sets?
No, because
winning. Who
Jaguars,
cares, right?
Mercedes Lewis is on the Jags, and Julius Thomas is in Miami.
That's right. He is.
My bad.
Yeah.
They both are the Panhandle State, but did you know there's more than one NFL team in Florida?
I try to forget most things about Florida.
Yeah, smart.
It's
Hey.
Smart.
yeah, makes life better.
So that wraps it up for top or flop.
Tappy or floppy.
I would have to guess that Scott in the guest is going to win this week, and afterwards, Andrew, the guest is going to be tied with you
What first?
at 2 points,
Oh, okay.
and Josh will be at 3 points.
We'll see.
The reigning leader.
The reigning leader.
Currently, the
Tyrannic
leader.
status.
Scott, you have some beautiful women around you. I need one more glimpse into Scott's thoughts.
Oh, wow.
Shoot from the hip here. Give us some advice. Give us some criticism. Talk a little bit of shit, because this whole time
Shout out Adam again. That was clever how you did that.
Shout out Adam. Like, Scott, I want you to speak from the heart right now because this is really important. What you say next matters and defines this whole segment, this whole set.
Well, I have a prediction I want to make.
Oh?
Yeah, and so far through the season, it hasn't held out. But my prediction, it's a long con here.
It's gonna be on record.
I hear you.
Just
I hear
make
you.
sure that everyone's
record.
going to hear this.
Wait, is the Jaguars offense going to score more than 3 points this week?
Stop it. Let him talk. Let him talk. Let him talk.
Leonard Fournette, by year 3 or 4, middle of the pack or out of the NFL. That's my stance. It's not popular.
That's quite a prediction.
It's prediction.
Now,
here.
you understand this guy.
Yeah.
I should unload
Obviously,
him.
all in. This guy.
If you want to give him to me now, get it while you can. But
Look at Josh. He's just confused.
How do you?
Sure.
Right in his face.
right, no,
Hey,
that's
I got respected opinion.
As you
all right.
said, it's a bold, out there
sure.
prediction.
Crazy.
What
So-
makes you think that?
So here's my thought process. Very few running backs can run 3 downs for a long period of time.
Right.
Truth.
When you are a power back, when you're someone who your job is to smash people, your career gets shortened.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When you do shit like wave the safety over and then
He's not
go
wrong
for the
about that.
contact.
Did you
Did
see
you like
his
that?
gift? Did you
Yeah,
see his gift?
that was beautiful.
That was tight, right?
Did you like that? What he did that though?
Oh, it was beautiful.
Yeah. Leonard
Beautiful.
Fournette,
Like,
yeah.
Do you want that player or do you want that guy that's going to slide out of bounds?
If I'm looking at it from an owner perspective, I want a guy who's going to be there 16 games, and the big runs, the 75-yard, the 90-plus yard runs. Those are going to happen early in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All it's going to take is a leg injury. Like, Bo Jackson was a great runner, but he got injured because he went for contact.
Right.
There are very few power runners that have extended careers.
Marshawn Lynch.
Hold on.
Yeah,
So
but he retired pretty early, right?
He came back.
How's Marshawn doing?
He's
Still
he's
fighting
on the scene.
referees.
So you're saying due to his use, okay, he's what, the majority of the offense on the Jaguars?
Easily.
Easily,
He's
right?
all
What
of
would
it.
you
Yeah.
say, like 75%?
70,
We'll just go with
60.
that.
Sure.
We don't know.
You
It's
know.
not official, but
I'd say at least 50%. He's the only one teams are going to game plan for.
okay.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not impressed with their offensive line.
So is
Uh,
David Johnson a testament to what you're saying right now?
I think
Considering
I would say he's less of a power. I mean, he's still.
They ran 75% of the
Moreover.
offense through
But
him.
yeah, but
everyone
when
planned
you
for
get
him.
that kind
Injury.
of usage, like statistically, running backs that get over like 400 carries, their next year is 30% of their production. Like
Yeah.
They're just roughed
it's
up.
very
If not
difficult.
injured.
But I know Josh is speaking to this because that's the reason he made the bet about David Johnson not being in top 5 or top 3, whatever we made the bet on running back this year. Because of his usage last year, they're going to use him so much to a point where he gets hurt. But the differentiation
happened
you're
exactly.
making is Fournette seeks out contact. David Johnson didn't
I think
seek
you,
it out the way
you
he does.
compare usage with running style
Mhm.
and physique. He's not burning people for the most part. He's running through people.
Mm-hmm.
Boy,
There's only
is
so
he.
many. There's only so many years, so many hits that a body can take, and
Right.
I think for the first few games of the season, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this prediction. Then he hurt his foot or his ankle.
I thought it was a
And
knee injury. It looked terrible.
So all it's going to take is a couple of those, and he's going to go the way of a Trent Richardson.
Oh, don't wish that on anybody.
Trent Richardson, great college back, didn't find a groove in the NFL. Power backs in the NFL, it's already very difficult to find one that can run through 300-pounders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To do that for an extended career, I just don't see it.
Right.
So I think that
So you-
conservatively, or not conservatively, I think a good NFL career for a running back is 7-8 years.
Right.
Beyond that, it's a very small class.
So you're saying that he's not
So-
even going to get his 5th-year option from the Jaguars?
I would be surprised. I bet he after his 4 years are up. I think they're like, well,
They're not even going to give him the 5th.
I think they would know we've rode this guy into the ground. Let's
Right.
let him walk.
Interesting.
or trade him at some point.
That is a bold prediction. I can see it happening, but he's been described as like a generational talent. It wouldn't surprise me to see him be that next, 1 out of 20 power backs that can actually, make a difference for a longer period of time.
Right.
Well, so are you saying that he seeks out contact, or are you saying that he invites it when it's the option he needs to take? See, that's the thing. I don't know if he's seeking it out. I just think that it's being highlighted that when it's there, he's not scared of it.
Yeah.
You follow me? Because, like, what kind of player doesn't know not to take contact? He's
right.
going to, you know what I mean?
I'm saying that
you don't think his coach is going to get to him and tell him what you're telling us? I'm
saying because of his talent, they're going to run him into defensive lines, into linebackers, right through the middle.
That's true.
Now I'm going to give a little shout out to my Melvin Gordon. He not as big, still sizable.
He was a lot smaller a couple years ago.
But he doesn't run between the tackles very often. When they give him the ball, they pitch him outside, let him hit cornerbacks.
Okay. Right.
When you're a big guy and they're like, oh, just run through these 300, 400 pound, Zeke. He's a powerful runner. But he's
lucky.
Also
he's lucky. He's got that line to make it so he doesn't have to hit the lineman. He can hit the linebackers.
Yeah, I would say the O line there also plays a factor. Jacksonville's O line just doesn't impress me much. To Fournette's credit, he's a great running back. Like he's right now, he's great. He's absolutely great. But it's how long can you keep doing that and stay healthy?
Right.
It's
That's
a roll
the question for all of them. Yeah,
might have him on his up year.
Right.
Who knows?
Who knows, man?
You got a good one, and that was kind of like a flop for a prediction, right?
A flop?
Just not in the sense that it was a bad one and it tanked and it flopped. It didn't just Trent Richardson, right?
Right.
But
when you invoke that name,
it's just I hope I'm never.
You talked about generational talent, and I remember coming out of the draft how people were saying that Darren McFadden is going to change the game.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's one of the reasons I have a hard time with college football is when you're running against people who are about to be like communication professionals and marketing majors, like
salesmen at Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Right. Like everyone looked like another player that I would compare. Actually, I think this is a really good comparison to Fournette would be Ron Dane. Ron Dane in college ran across through everybody. Yeah. Giants running back. Go back a few years, you had Tiki Barber and Ron Dane. They were like,
okay.
Tiki, sure.
But Ron Dane, Great Dane, he was a hard to tackle player.
Doesn't sound like so Great Dane.
It was a very short career.
Not so Great Dane.
Couldn't cut it.
Ron, not so Great Dane.
Some guys weren't meant for the NFL,
You have.
But he had a short career, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, I think the best. I think an Adrian Peterson.
I was gonna say that's who I was gonna bring up. Like he is the exception, then obviously.
Well, he's like he's fast, but he's not the fastest. He's powerful, but not the most powerful. And
in his heyday,
he's a good balance.
Look at all his highlights. He's running over corners and safeties. Like the thing is, he got the speed to get to that second level.
Yeah.
And then he just smashed on the smaller guys.
Fair enough.
And the Vikings O-line was pretty decent.
Thank you, Seahawks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say David Johnson is more in that AP mold. But yeah, I would say when you have a good blend of that size and speed, that's your chance to extend your career with a good O-line.
Yeah.
Fournette, I think he has 4.6 speed. 4.7
like Mixon then? Like a Mixon is?
I think Mixon found himself in a better situation instead of 3 running backs. I think Mixon, if I had a higher pick, I would have taken him.
Yeah, I tried to get him.
He's got the body type.
Yeah.
He didn't try too hard.
He's talent.
No.
I expect good things from Mixon. Run.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they trade Jeremy Hill and just let Mixon be the number one. And
they should.
Jeremy Hill, I would be really surprised if next year he's has a greater role on any team that he's got right now, just due to age and everything. It's just hard for running backs to come back from that. But Scott, that was kind of like a flop prediction. Like you think a high player, is gonna, fall out of, the light. Tell me about a player that is, not in the light right now, but you project, greatness or big things from. Is it Cooper Kupp?
That is not where I would hang my hat.
Do you hear that, Adam? I wouldn't hang my hat there either.
So
Cooper
that's
Kupp is
four
not the one.
in this room that would not hang their hat on Cooper Kupp.
I would say Cooper Kupp has really good potential. I think
And
he'll be a starter.
stinky.
I think he'll be
Cole Beasley.
in redraft leagues. He'll be probably top round 4, round 5 type when he gets there. If I'm making a bold
prediction. Somebody, it could be Marlon Mack. It could be somebody on your team. We all do research on players most on our team.
Well, I think
Tariq Cohen. I agree.
so.
I'm kidding. He's not going to make it.
I would say a player that's underrated who I was able to grab in every league this year. Kept him in this one. Big fan. Tyreek Hill.
I love him.
When you watch the games, he's like a man among boys in its speed. He just he's an Olympic sprinter.
Right.
That
I agree.
He he could win medals, but he's playing football, and he has a small frame, which he may see some injuries. That's the big concern.
For sure.
Right.
But
Especially because he moves at high pace.
yeah.
A Diggs-looking boy,
Yeah, he's a
as
Diggs-looking
Josh
boy.
would say.
But I would put him, for the foreseeable future, for the next 6-7 years, I think he's a top 10 wide receiver.
For sure.
Yeah,
As long as
I
he's
agree.
got... he's in a great situation because he's got Alex Smith throwing him the ball deep right now. And then when they decide to move on from Alex Smith, then they've got Mahomes who will throw him the ball deep. And that's what he needs is somebody like that hitting him with it. I'll keep my eye on Tariq, not Tariq, but Tyreek. Let me know if you want to trade him. Slide into my DMs. We'll see if we can get something going.
Oh my God.
Scott, I just got to say, man, I really appreciate you coming out and spending as much time.
Yeah,
This
big ups,
is,
man.
This is fun.
A little bit longer of a show for us here today, but I wanted to give you every single opportunity to come on here and defend yourself and your poor decisions
Drop some knowledge.
and drop a little
right.
bit of knowledge.
defend
The Great
Adam.
Dane. I didn't know about the Great Dane
The
beforehand.
not so great, Dane.
The not so great Dane.
He was great adjacent,
He witnessed it.
But you really brought it, man. Very happy that you could come on. And final thoughts, guys?
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I'm
We-
excited for next week.
We need more guests.
Yeah,
We need more guests.
We need people to get on here.
We might throw you another invite here this year. You,
I know you
Absolutely,
did
man.
well. You know,
Appreciate it.
Expected it might come.
Yeah.
might not.
I know you're going to be a splash with the fans. You're going to raise us from at least 9 to 11 views. We're going to send out more invites to other people here. Get some
Come
more
on,
people on.
it's
Fun. It doesn't matter if it goes a little while longer. It's entertaining. We enjoy it. It makes the league better. It gets us closer. It makes deals happen. It's just
exactly.
good all around. We do this for us. We do this for you guys. We do it because we love the league. Fantasy football is great. We talk a lot of shit. We have a lot of fun. But every once in a while, I need somebody to come on here and give me some facts. Like, I didn't win the first 2 weeks because I didn't start IDPs. That's all I took away from it, Scott.
We need those. We need those.
But, it's simple. We're the 3 Dynasteers. This is how we do it.
Ayo.